convenience and concession stands and restrooms are located directly behind home plate on the concourse level. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with the stairways and exits. If other emergency assistance should be needed during tonight's game, please contact the nearest redcoat or police officer. Spectators are reminded to be alert at all times during tonight's game as foul balls and other debris may occasionally leave the playing field and inadvertently fly into our seats. The Department of Athletics and the Big Ten thank you for your cooperation. We hope you enjoyed tonight's game. Remember, heads up tonight at Bill Davis Stadium. The NCAA and the Big Ten Conference rules prohibit the use of artificial noisemakers or the display of signs or banners. For the safety of the players, flash photography and video recording equipment of any kind are strictly prohibited. The Ohio State University strives to enhance the general health and well-being of its faculty, staff, students, and people to become the healthiest university. To support this commitment, we intend to provide a tobacco-free environment. Smoking and use of tobacco are prohibited in or on all university-owned, operated, or leased property, and this includes vehicles. For more information, visit tobaccofree.osu.edu. The Ohio State University and the NCAA Rules Committee take great pride in the conduct of all of its student athletes. Coaches instruct their players to treat their opponents and the umpires with respect. We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team during today's game. At the same time, please demonstrate to our guests the same kind of respect we would expect to be shown as visitors on their campus. Ohio State explicitly prohibits such language and behavior towards student athletes, coaches, umpires, and guests that are based on characteristics including but not limited to gender, sexual orientation, gender identification, age, race, national origin, religion, military status, disability status, or any other characteristic. Failure to adhere to the code of conduct could result in removal from tonight's athletic event. We thank you for your support and cooperation in this important mission. Fans of Ohio State University has a tradition that the students, faculty, staff, and fans all share, and Coca-Cola is proud to be part of that tradition. From the Oval to the Horseshoe, OSU has a genuine spirit that fills the hearts of every Buckeye. Wherever you go and whatever you do, there will always be Buckeyes, and there will always be Coca-Cola. Enjoy! When their playing days are done, Ohio State student athletes have the opportunity to support the Ohio State Varsity Alumni Association. This affords a chance to get and stay connected and continue the tradition of paying forward. The Varsity Association truly believes in the motto, athletes helping athletes. Quarter letter winners who would like more information on Varsity can find that information at varsityo.alumni.osu.edu. Fans for all the best Buckeye gear, scan the QR code on the big board right now. Go online at gobuckeyes.com. Gear up at the team shop located right here at Bill Davis. Group tickets are a fun and affordable way to experience Buckeye baseball with your team, coworkers, friends, and family. Group tickets start at just $4. Your group may have access to exclusive experiences. Simply call 1-800-GO-BUCKS. Purchase your group tickets this season. Baseball fans, be sure to like the Buckeyes on Facebook at Ohio State University Baseball. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Ohio State Base for exclusive baseball content all year long. And with summer quickly approaching, sign-ups are now available online for Buckeye baseball camps. For more information and to register for a Buckeye baseball camp, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/camps or scan the QR code on the big board right now. Fans, if you'd like to take a look at stats, player information, or the latest Buckeye baseball news throughout tonight's game, you can scan the QR code on our screen now, presented by Park National Bank. Cincinnati Bearcats. Batting first, the third baseman, number 2, a junior from Brownsburg, Indiana, Carrington Cross. Batting second, the first baseman, number 44, a junior from Martinsville, Indiana, Tommy O'Connor. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 41, a junior from Brunswick, Ohio.
The stage is set in the state capitol as the Cincinnati Bearcats made the trip up I-71 to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Thank you for joining me here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Ethan Herzog with you from Bill Davis Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, the 100th all-time meeting between the Bearcats and the Buckeyes right around the corner. The Ohio State Buckeyes leading the all-time series, 70 wins to Cincinnati's 27 with 2 ties, dating all the way back to April 26th of 1919. The last time these two teams faced off each other was the 17th of April, where Ohio State would take that one 5-3, and the last home game for Cincinnati between the Bearcats and Buckeyes would end in a walk-off home run. Bearcats would win 5-4. And that one in the first game of a 2-game series back in 2022. Now, last time out for the opponent in the Ohio State Buckeyes hosted Michigan State over this past weekend and went 1-2 against the Michigan State Spartans. Ohio State would fall 11-4 in game 1 of the series, and in game 2 as well, Hunter Rawson would drive in a career-high 6 RBIs as the Buckeyes would fall the Spartans 17-12. In game 2, Rawson went 3-4 from the plate and was just a triple shy of hitting for the cycle for the Buckeyes, and the Buckeyes would bounce back with a 10-6 victory against the Spartans in the series finale this past Sunday. Trey Lipsy, Kazmar, Rawson, and Petteroni, as well as Rashawn, would lead the Buckeyes with 2 hits each, and Kazmar and Rawson would each drive in 2 runs on the day. Blaine Wink, who was 1-0 on the season, would earn his first victory on the Hill as he fanned 2 and walked 1 in 2 2/3 scoreless innings in his outing for the Buckeyes. Now, looking at the last time out for Cincinnati, came back from a weekend trip to Orlando, winning the series against UCF 2-1 against the Knights. Entering the weekend, UCF had been ranked atop the Big 12 in team ERA at a 4.20 and 7th in the nation in hits allowed per 9 innings with a 7.53, and the Bearcats were able to tag their pitching staff with 19 runs and 27 hits over those 3 games. In Friday's win, Cincinnati would trail 4-1 into the last third of the game before pushing 8 total runs across in the 7th and 8th innings. Cincinnati would flip the script a bit on Sunday by taking an early lead with a 3-run first inning, but again piled on the Knights bullpen and scored 4 insurance runs at the top of the 9th to secure the victory. Luke Stefsik would hit for a .545 average, 6 for 11 at UCF, and tied for the team lead with 4 runs driven in. Loudon Brooks would also had 4 RBIs, and both Griffin Hugas and Carson Marsh provided strong innings out of the bullpen. Now, just after the break, starting pitchers, starting lineups, and key players to watch coming up in this matchup between the Buckeyes and the Bearcats. You're listening to the student voice of the Cats here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back to Bill Davis Stadium here on the campus of Ohio State University, and we've got your players to watch here in this contest between the Buckeyes and the Bearcats, starting off with the Ohio State Buckeyes in utility hitter for the Buckeyes, batting third, and Hunter Rawson, who, a utility player for the Bearcats, has been on an absolute tear for Ohio State as he knocked in a career-high six RBIs in the weekend series against Michigan State, and received high praise from the TV staff here on the Big Ten Network Plus, talking to them pregame. Just absolute praise for Rawson, who in his junior year played in 22 games and started in 6 of those games. Began his collegiate career at Weatherford College, which is in the North Texas Junior College Athletic Association. This time with the Coyotes, he had batted with a .305 batting average and 14 home runs and 52 RBIs. Played a summer season with the Hayes Larks and Jayhawk of the Jayhawk Collegiate League in Kansas back in 2022, and is an OSU Scholar Athlete and from his junior year. Native of Aledo, Texas, Bats and throws with his right, coming into his senior year here at Ohio State. Now flipping over to the other side in the Cincinnati Bearcats, number 41, Josh Cross. He's the Big 12 leader in RBIs and 35th nationally in RBIs as well. He comes into this game, and he's just been a solid asset for this Bearcat lineup throughout the course of this first Big 12 season. Also, top marks in an unfortunate category, 28th in hit by pitch. He's been plunked 17 times, leading to a very high on-base percentage, which the Bearcats thrive in. It's their on-base percentage. 2 players still with an OPS above 1. Carrington Cross and Tommy O'Connor sharing those honors. Heading into today's matchup against Ohio State, the 100th all-time meeting between the two schools. Cincinnati won 4 of the last 5. 6 of the last 10 against Ohio State. Last time out, lost to the Buckeyes 5-3 here at Bill Davis Stadium in 2022, and would win game 1 of the 2-game series in 2022 off a walk-off home run hit by Cam Sheeler back 2 seasons ago. Starting pitchers and starting lineups right around the corner as we head into a break. You're listening to Cincinnati baseball here on Bearcats Sports Radio.
Gentlemen, at this time, and to honor America and those who have fought to defend the freedoms that we enjoy, we invite you to please rise, remove your hats, and join us for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back to Nick Swisher Field here at Bill Davis Stadium. It's the Bearcats and Buckeyes here on Bearcats Sports Radio, and we're going to bring you the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the host Ohio State Buckeyes, playing in left field, number 28, Trey Lipsy, at playing shortstop and batting second, number 6, Henry Kazmar. Batting third, the DH, number 32, Hunter Rawson. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 42, Tyler Petteroni. Batting in the 5 spot, the first baseman, Matthew Gravelin. In the 6th spot, batting in right field, number 24, Mitchell Oakley. In batting 7th and playing second base, number 1, Joseph Mershon, my goodness. Batting in the 8th spot, the catcher, number 16, Mason Eckelman. Batting in the 9th spot, the center fielder, number 9, batting in the 9th spot, the center fielder, number 7, Nick Jamarusti. And on the mound for the Ohio State Buckeyes, the pitcher, number 43, Hunter Shaw. The Buckeyes are led by head coach Bill Musiello, who was in his 2nd season at the helm for the Buckeyes with a 51-45 record as a head coach. First career head coaching spot for Musiello. Having a meeting on the at home plate with field umpires and head coach Jordan Bischel for Cincinnati. And speaking of the Bearcats, let's look at their starting lineup. Batting in the 1 spot, the third baseman, number 2, Carrington Cross. Batting second and playing first base is number 44, Tommy O'Connor. Batting in the 3 spot, the designated hitter, number 41, Josh Cross. Batting in the 4th spot in left field, number 5, Hunter Jesse. Batting in the 5th spot, the right fielder, number 31, Luke Sefcik. Batting in the 6th spot, the center fielder, number 22, Josh Hegeman. Batting 7th and playing shortstop, number 8, Loudon Brooks. Batting in the 8th spot, playing second base, number 6, Max Palmieri. And batting in the 9th spot, playing catcher, is number 0, Alec Jones. And pitcher on the mound for Cincinnati, number 26, Chase Horst. Sophomore pitcher for Cincinnati. 3-0 on the year, 13.2 innings pitched. Has an ERA of 5.93 going up against the 14.50 ERA of Hunter Shaw on the mound for the Buckeyes, who will take the field here on this sunny evening in Columbus, Ohio. It's the Bearcats and Buckeyes here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Ethan Herzog with you, providing coverage here for the 100th all-time meeting between these two programs. The first ever meeting between these two programs where both reside in a Power 5 conference. Cincinnati in the first year of the Big 12. Ohio State longtime members of the Big 10. Ohio State 4 College World Series appearances in the program's history. Not to mention the 44 Buckeyes in the major leagues with 54 All-Americans and 10 Big 10 tournament championships. Cincinnati, 7 appearances in the NCAA tournament. Last time making it to that tournament was 2019. They would upset Oregon State big in their first game of the tournament, would fall to Creighton in the next round. Cincinnati fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament this season, coming into this game with a 25-19 record, 11-10 in the Big 12. Just won a series against UCF, 2-1. A statement series win against a tough opponent on the road. We're all set to go here. First pitch just a few seconds away as Carrington Cross steps up to the plate, batting at a .299 average, batting right, as he steps into the batter's box to begin the away half of the first inning for the Bearcats. Pitch on the way, high for ball one, and that is how we will start this one here in Columbus, Ohio. Shaw on the mound, deals high again for ball two. Carrington Cross started all 44 games, 43 at third base and 1 as a designated hitter. Pitch on the way, inside in the zone for strike one, makes it a 2-1 count. Hunter Shaw on the mound for Ohio State, throws it to the left. 14.5 ERA, pitch on the way, swung on, driven back and foul. Over the safety net and over the awning of the stadium. He's 1-2 on the years, Hunter Shaw. 1 save, 18 innings pitched, 29 hits, 33 runs, 29 of them earned. 17 strikeouts, 11 walks. Pitch on the way, high, ball 3. Runs the count full. Carrington Cross, a .283 career ERA. Swings and pops this one foul, going to track it down is the first baseman, and it can't get there. That one sails foul, ended up traveling all the way back to the right fielder in Oakley. He couldn't make it in time before it would stop, before it would fall into the Cincinnati bullpen. Nicely sized crowd here at Bill Davis Stadium. A wonderful facility here on Ohio State's campus, tucked in the complex next to the soccer and track stadium and softball field. Just a couple minutes walk down. Also next to the Schottenstein Center. Pitch on the way. High, ball 4. Then it'll be a leadoff walk for Carrington Cross. So he makes his way down to first base. Very patient batter is Carrington Cross. 37 walks on the year for him. His first pickoff is not in time as Tommy O'Connor steps up to the plate for Cincinnati, a .299 average as well. One of the two batters with an OPS over 1 as he swings and misses. Strike one called, makes it a 1-1 count. O'Connor 47 for 157 on the season, 40 RBIs. Second on the team. Pitch coming from Shaw, swing and a miss, strike 2 for Tommy O'Connor. Excuse me, it'll be a 0-2 count. First ball thrown was a pickoff to first. Pitch coming in the zone, strike 3. Brings up Tommy O'Connor, gives home plate umpire Bryce McCullough a look, and can't really believe that one as he heads back to the dugout. Disappointed in that at bat, but Josh Cross steps up to the plate, the team leader in RBIs with 54. So 13 home runs on the season as well with a stolen base, 56 of 171. Pickoff attempt to first, not in time. Trying to catch Carrington Cross off his lead. Josh Cross DHing today for Cincinnati, trying to drive in some more runs. Pickoff attempt back to first base, not in time. Second pickoff attempt in a row. Fairly similar to the last at bat. Pitch on the way. Cross goes. Had a nice jump. Is he in time? He is not. Carrington Cross caught out stealing, but the umpires are going to converge. Have a meeting. Strike was called on the pitch as Carrington stands at second base, wants a review. Umpires converge on the mound, and they will head into an official review, much to the displeasure of the Ohio State faithful here in Columbus. Like I mentioned before, the 100th all-time meeting between these two schools. Ohio State with 70 wins, Cincinnati with 27, but Cincinnati has won 4 of the last 5 against these Buckeyes. Two very talented programs. Ohio State coming into this season coming in this contest 20-20 on the year, 7-8 in the Big Ten. Lost their last series out against Michigan State. Won one game of the 3 against the Michigan State Spartans. Both teams fighting for their seeding in their respective conference tournaments. Cincinnati in the Big 12. The top 10 teams in the Big 12 conference will make the tournament. Cincinnati currently sitting in 6th place in the Big 12 conference behind Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Texas, and Kansas in that order. Cincinnati 4 games back of a first place tie with Oklahoma. Cincinnati was picked to finish last in the Big 12, but has made a nice splash heading into their first season with head coach Jordan Bischel. Has led in 25 wins so far, which is 1 win over their last season's win total of 24. Their last season as members of the American Athletic Conference before following Houston, UCF, and BYU to the Big 12. Big 12 will add 4 more schools as the umpires emerge from the review room, and Carrington Cross is confirmed out at second base trying to steal. That brings the second out of the Bearcat first. Josh Cross still to bat. He has a 0-1 count. Now with 2 outs, nobody on. Josh Cross is the other Bearcat with an OPS above 1 as that one's hit foul into the stands. Bouncing its way out into the parking lot. OPS of 1.054 for Josh Cross. Is an average of .327 on the season. On base percentage of .440. Pitch on the way, swung on and tipped foul. Way back behind Bill Davis Stadium. Third man up for Cincinnati, facing off against Hunter Shaw. Shaw, pitch on the way, swung on, driven foul down the third base line into the Ohio State dugout. It's Hunter Shaw looking to retire Josh Cross and head into the home half of the first inning. Pitch on the way, and it plunks him. Hits him right in between the numbers on his back as he dashes towards first base. This is the 18th time he has been hit this season. Team leading. And unfortunately, is 28th in the country, being hit now 18 times. Taking his pads off over at first base, and now leads Hunter Jesse, the left fielder, up to bat with 1 runner on and 2 outs. He has an average of .240, 25 of 104 this season. Struck out 24 times, has 27 RBIs, 16 runs. Pitch on the way. Right down Broadway for strike 1. Bearcats can get going early. Pitch on the way. Same spot, strike 2. When they get going, they fly. 0-2 count, 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Swung on and tipped foul into the safety net. Leaves the count at 0-2. Josh Cross at first base after getting hit in the back by a pitch. Hunter Jesse at the plate with an 0-2 count. Shaw winds and deals. Way inside for ball 1. Almost hit Hunter Jesse. Would have knocked him square in the jaw if it did. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and driven foul down the first base line. Almost stayed fair. Josh Cross took off. He'll trot his way back to first base. Shaw with strikeout and a walk this home half, and whiffs is Hunter Jesse, and that retires the side for the away half of the first inning. We come back the first time up for the Ohio State offense here on Bearcats Sports Radio. Chase Horst up to bat for Cincinnati. He was named to the American Athletic Conference All-Freshman team, made 8 starts in his 18 appearances last season. Finished the year with a 3-4 record and a 4.99 ERA. He is a perfect 3-0 on the year so far with an ERA of 5.93, a whip of 1.76, and a leadoff average of .706. His 13 2/3 innings pitched with 8 strikeouts, 10 walks, 9 runs, all of which are earned, and 14 hits on the season so far. Now looking at the leadoff man for Ohio State, Troy Lipsy, junior outfielder. He's left-handed batter, Big Ten all-freshman team in 2022, and a Big Ten player to watch coming into 2023. Those D1 top 150 outfielders in 2023. First pitch for Chase Horst is a strike right down the middle for an 0-1 count to begin the Bearcats' defensive day. Horst the 0-1. Same spot, strike 2. Couple of nice pitches there for Horst. Coming up against Lipsy, who on the season a .271 average. The pitch, outside, ball 1. Makes it a 1-2 count. Lipsy, 42 hits, 31 runs, 32 RBIs on the season, 6 home runs as well. Horst deals. Swung on, driven into right field, coming up to get it, but a short is Sefcik, and that will leave Lipsy safe at first. A base hit, leadoff for Ohio State. Brings up number 6, Henry Kazmar, the left-handed batter, sophomore, batting a .338. 53 hits on 157 at-bats. With a runner on first, is that one in the zone, strike 1. Horst finding the zone well. So far, very early in this bottom half of the first. Horst looks to first, decides not to, pitch thrown right down the middle, strike 2. Makes it an 0-2 count. Runner on first, it's Lipsy. Kazmar, a strong player for Ohio State. He's a big contributor past weekend series of that pitch outside. Almost goes wild, but Alec Jones able to corral that one. Makes it a 1-2 count. It's Horst favoring the center of the mound. The center of the rubber on the mound. Outside strike for ball 2. Count even now at 2. Lipsy with 9 stolen bases on the year. He's caught stealing 5 times. That pitch down and away for ball 3, runs the count full. Dangerous situation here early. Runner on first, it's Lipsy. Kazmar, shortstop up to bat. Pitch on the way. Away for ball 4, and that'll be a 6-pitch walk for Kazmar. That brings Rawson, the DH, up to bat. .355 average, and he has been hot for Ohio State. During the Michigan State series, he had some back problems and wasn't even sure if he'd play baseball again, as that pitch down and inside for ball 1, with the back pain being so severe. But he he didn't play Friday, played Saturday, where he would knock in a career-high 6 RBIs. Pitch on the way, swung on, driven right back to Horst down the middle of the field. That'll score at least 1 runner as Hegeman comes in, stops the runner at second, but not before Ohio State plates 1 and takes a 1-0 lead here bottom of the first inning. And that's how dangerous he has been. He has been hot recently. Had a 2-run homer as well on Sunday. Ohio State putting him at DH just to have him in. Now Tyler Petterini steps up to the plate for the Buckeyes. .316 batting average on the year so far. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's now 2 hits and a run for Ohio State here, bottom half of the first inning. Horst looks back to second forward. The pitch on the way is tipped foul down the third base line. No chance. That one sails into the club seating here at Bill Davis Stadium. 2 runners on for Petterini. Kazmar at second and Rawson at first. As Horst looks back to second, and that one tipped back to Horst. Horst can't corral it, throws to first. It's in time, but advances 2 runners. Kazmar now at third, Rawson at second. Kazmar 90 feet away. That was tipped by Petterini right back to Horst. Struggling to get a grip on it as it trickled towards him. Was able to flick it to first in time, but not before advancing the runners. Now Gravelin steps up to the plate for Ohio State. 45 and 155 on the year. That pitch high, but caught by Alec Jones. So Jones is going to head out to the mound here for an early visit. Try and calm down the nerves of the sophomore lefty. Gravelin, 33 runs, 17 RBIs on the season, 13 doubles on the year. Ohio State ranking 22nd in all of college baseball with 16 triples on the year. Just unrelated, sorry. But still, the stat nonetheless is that one right down the middle for strike 1. Horst deals high for ball 2. One of 2 midweek games for Ohio State. Cincinnati had a similar situation a few weeks ago. Pitch on the way. Matt Plunks, the batter. Gravelin's going to advance to first, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. An early pickle for Chase Horst. As Mitchell Oakley steps up to the plate, senior out of Powell, Ohio. He's playing in the outfield today. Looks to drive in a few more. 1 out for Ohio State. That one in the zone for strike 1. .283 average for Mitchell Oakley. He's playing in right field. He has a .545 average with the bases loaded. That pitch outside, ball 1. He has 4 home runs on the year so far, 12 doubles. Struck out 44 times with 36 RBIs. The pitch. Outside the zone just barely for ball 2. Runs the count to 2-1 with the bases loaded. Gravelin at first, Rawson at second, Kazmar at third. Horse winds and deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 called on Oakley. Horse looking to get out of this jam early. Leave the bottom half of the first with just 1 run. Ohio State leads 1-0. Horse, the pitch, high, ball 2. Ball 3, excuse me, runs the count full. Good walk in a run. Here with a 3-2 count. Bases loaded with 1 out. Pitch on the way, swung on, tip foul. Hits the awning with a clang. Drops down in the stands and kids come running for a souvenir. 3-2 count, 1 out for Mitchell Oakley. Pitch on the way. Check swing. It says that he went, strikes him out. That'll be the second out of the home half of the first, excuse me. First strikeout of the day for Chase Horst. 9th of the season. Catches Oakley on a check swing. After Bryce McCullough would say he went all the way around. Pitch on the way against Mershon, excuse me. Bang at a .294, 37-126 on the year. Switch hitter for Ohio State has not had a chance to bat with the bases loaded as that pitch inside for ball 1. But does bat with a .229 with 2 outs and a .268 with runners in scoring position. So the Buckeyes try and capitalize. Not one tipped, way foul. Sailing way out of the park down the first base line. It's now a 1-2 count with 2 outs, bases loaded from Rashawn, the second baseman. Horse the pitch, way outside for ball 2. Jones had to extend for that one. Way off to the right. .90-mile-an-hour pitch as Horse deals again. Way high, ball 3, runs the count full. Last time he was presented with this position, he did strike out the batter. See if he can do it again. 3-2 count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Horse the pitch. Plunks him. Hit batter, brings in a run. Buckeyes now lead 2-0 against Cincinnati. That walks in Kazmar. Advances Rawson the third, Gravelin the second. Rashawn now at first, and Eckelman up to bat for Ohio State. We're all the way down to the 8th man. So it looks like Coach Jordan Bischel heads out to the mound. Alec Jones as well. Or pitching coach, excuse me, will head out to the mound for Cincinnati. Jordan Bischel not quite done with Chase Horst yet. Josh Reynolds heads out to the mound to have a conversation. Calm down the nerves of Chase Horst. Now 2 outs. Down to the 8th batter for Ohio State. Buckeyes lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning against Cincinnati. Horst pitch outside for ball 1 against Eckelman. Bats with his left at a .115 average. Struck out 7 times on the year. Only 26 at bats. Pitch on the way. Right down the middle for strike 1. 1-1 is the count. Base is still loaded. 2 outs. Horst working his way out of a jam. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Runs the count to 1-2 with 2 outs. Horse looking for strikeout number 10. Sets, winds, deals. Swing and pop fouled on the third base line. He's had some good placement on the day, but just a couple of mistakes have led to a loaded bases loaded situation. Pitch on the way. Swing and tip foul into the glove of Alec Jones, and that will retire the side, but not before Ohio State plates 2 and takes a 2-run lead over Cincinnati. Away half of the second coming up here right after the break. You're listening to the student voice of the Cats, Bearcats Sports Radio.
Let's give a very special Buckeye welcome to our group in attendance tonight. Please welcome Wow Factor 614 Baseball. Thanks for coming out to the park and for your support of the Scarlet and Gray. Group tickets are a fun and affordable way to experience Buckeye baseball with your team, coworkers, friends, and family. Group tickets start at just $4. Your group may have access to exclusive experiences. Simply call 1-800-GO-BUCKS. Purchase your group tickets this season.
Luke Sefcik leads it off for the Bearcat half of the second inning. Second baseman was named to the All-MAC first team last season, following Coach Bischel down to Cincinnati after he was hired at the end of the 2023 season. Led Central Michigan with a .315 batting average, has an average of .330 this season. That pitch right down the middle for strike 1. 29 of 88 on the season so far, 16 RBIs, 5 doubles, 6 stolen bases. Bats at a .435 at leadoff. That pitch in the dirt for ball 1. At a 1-1 count. Hunter Shaw shut out Bearcats in the top half of the first inning. Strikeout, caught stealing. Another strikeout sent the Bearcats back home. So stranding a runner, Josh Cross. 2-1 count. That one popped foul over to the Bearcat bullpen. Almost hits the top of Corey Klingenbeck's head. He's playing bullpen catcher. Count even at 2. Sefcik has struck out 11 times this season. Pitch on the way. Inside for ball 3, count runs full. Shaw's already hit one batter on the day, It's Josh Cross, unfortunately for him. That pitch on the way outside, and a 6-pitch walk for Luke Sefcik. And he'll head over to claim his base. It's the second leadoff walk in a row for Hunter Shaw. His 13th walk on the season as well. Now Josh Hegeman, left-handed batter, steps up to the plate, a .354 average. That one inside for ball 1. 46 of 130 on the year. 29 runs, 20 RBIs, 8 doubles, 12 stolen bases. Top marks in that category on the team. That pitch just in the zone for strike 1. Runs the count even at 1. Hegeman awaits the pitch from Shaw. On the way, in the zone, strike 2. Runs the count to 1-2. Sefcik stands at first base. Hegeman at home plate. Shaw looking for strikeout number 3 on the day. Winds and throws a pickoff attempt to first base, not in time to Sefcik. He's able to dive back to touch the bag in time. Bearcats looking for their first run of the day. Being shut out in the top half of the first as that one tapped down the first base line, but foul from Josh Hageman, who's had a solid year for Cincinnati. Struggled a little bit last season for the Bearcats, but Jordan Bishel really liking what he's seeing with the progression of Josh Hageman. He stands for his 131st at-bat of the season as that one comes back, hits the press box, and makes its way all the way down to the first row, avoiding the safety net back on the backstop. Count still stands 1-2, the pitch. Tapped down to the third baseman. It'll be a double play opportunity, but the throw goes out into right field, so both runners are safe. Sefcik advances to second, Hageman to first. Throw from third to second was a little high. Double play opportunity missed for Ohio State. So now runners in scoring position for Cincinnati as Loudon Brooks steps up to the plate. For the Bearcats, a nice break for Cincinnati. Sets them up with no outs. Go down as an error for Ohio State, our first one of the day. Loudon Brooks set, pops that one foul, way out of play behind him. Loudon with a .303 average. 43 hits, 37 runs on the year. Hits with a .365 with runners in scoring position as that one almost hits him on the foot. But just misses, runs the count even at 1. Swung and missed at the first pitch. Pitch on the way, down and corralled by Eckelman. Back behind the plate. It's no runners advance. Sefcik stands at second, Hageman stands at first. Brooks up to bat. Bats with a .365 with runners on, .405 with runners in scoring position as that one in the dirt for ball 3. 3-1 the count. 2 runners on, no outs for Cincinnati. Pitch on the way. Swung on and driven high in the air over to right field. Oakley has a beat on it. He makes the catch. Runner tags at second and will make his way to third, safe. As Sefcik tags and runs, who now stands 90 feet away. Hageman stayed at first base. Didn't want to chance that one. Throw from Oakley would have caught him out, but had no chance against Sefcik. It's the Bearcats dangerously sitting with a chance to bring in a run. As Max Palmieri steps up to the plate, Hageman dashes back to the first base bag. Was the pickoff attempt is thrown. He is safe. 2 runners on. They're at the corners with 1 out for Cincinnati. Max Palmieri second. Pickoff attempt is not in time. As Palmieri bat comes up to bat from the right side of the box. .261 batting average on the year. Bats at a .333 with runners on. Or runners in scoring position, excuse me. That's a third pickoff attempt in a row, not in time to Josh Hageman. Shaw, number 4 on the day on this at bat alone. Not a single pitch has been thrown. Now the first pitch of the at bat thrown, and it's outside for ball 1. After 4 pickoff attempts in a row aimed at Josh Hageman. Sefcik with a couple step lead over at third. That pitch in the zone for strike 1. evens the count at 1. Max Palmieri trying to bring in a run here. Got the deficit back to 1. That one in the zone, 4 strike 2. Count now 1 and 2. Bearcats have not found a hit today. 0 for 4. The Hegeman reaching base was on an error, which would have been a double play ball had it not sailed over the head of Mershon. That pitch high for ball 2, evens it at 2. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts for the Bearcats. Ohio State 2 for 5 on the day so far after just 1 inning of play. 5th pickoff attempt to Hegeman is not in time. Hegeman must be doing something to catch the attention of Hunter Shaw. That pitch swung on and hit foul, clanking off the awning of Bill Davis Stadium. Count still even at 2 with 1 out. Runners in the corners. Sefcik at 3rd, Hegeman at 1st. Max Palmieri up to bat. Hunter Shaw still doing work for Ohio State here in the top half of the 2nd. Trying to drive in a run for Cincinnati, down 2-0. Pitch on the way. Swung on and popped up into the air into short right field. Sefcik looks like he's going to tag and take off. Throw comes in, and it will not be in time as Sefcik runs across home plate, scores the first run for Cincinnati. A sac fly RBI for Max Palmieri brings in the first run for the Bearcats, now down by 1, 2-1 here top of the 2nd inning to Ohio State. Alec Jones now the catcher stepping up to the plate for Cincinnati with 2 outs. 1 runner on, it's Hegeman. He hasn't been able to move from first base and has had 10 pickoff throws over in his direction. Pitch on the way for Alec Jones is in the zone, 4 strike 1. Hegeman does have 12 stolen bases on the year, so understandably so. Hunter Shaw is a little concerned. Winds and deals forward that pitch, and that one driven high to left field, looking back at the wall, and that one's gone. Alec Jones with a 2-out home run brings in 2 more, and Cincinnati takes a 1-run lead, 3-2. A no-doubter from Alec Jones drives in a lead for Cincinnati and brings Carrington Cross to the plate. What a swing and a drive from the catcher. Makes way for Carrington Cross, who walked in the first inning. That one thrown at Cross's feet will be ball 1. The first hit of the day for Cincinnati is a home run. Provided by Alec Jones, as that one in the zone, and looks like Carrington Cross had called for time. Cross kind of looked at home plate umpire Bryce McCullough, was like, hey, called for time, and Jordan Bischel now pleading his case to the umpire. Right now stands at the 1-1 count. Bryce McCullough is just going to shrug his shoulders and continue on. And it looked like Carrington Cross wasn't even ready yet. So a 1-1 count after that one. Cross swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 outs currently for the Bearcats. Tommy O'Connor on deck for Cincinnati. So that one swung on and driven into the gap, but in left field, Carrington Cross will be standing safe at first base. Lets out his frustrations on that ball. Puts another runner on for Cincinnati. Second hit of the day for the Bearcats. Brings up Tommy O'Connor. Struck out looking in the first inning. He's 0 for 1 on the day. One of the players on the team that struck out the most is that one in the dirt for ball 1. However, when he makes contact, It'll fly. 11 home runs on the year. This 40 RBIs. Pickoff attempt to first, not in time. Trying to catch Carrington Cross. 13 stolen bases for him on the year. It's been caught 3 times. It's a 4-step lead at first as that pitch is swung on and driven, popped up into the air. Looking back at the wall, it is fair, it is gone. Tommy O'Connor with a 2-run shot, elevating the Bearcats to a 3-run lead, 5-2. 2 home runs in the second inning for Cincinnati. As Tommy O'Connor heads into the crowd of Bearcats and celebrates. So there'll be a meeting on the mound for Ohio State. Action now in the bullpen as well. As Hunter Shaw has now allowed his 6th and 7th home run of the year. Alec Jones claims the lead for Cincinnati. Tommy O'Connor extends it. Back. 2 out shots for the Bearcats. My goodness. And now Josh Cross, the team's home run leader, steps up to the plate. 13 of them on the year. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Shaw winds and deals, and Cross hits it right to the second baseman. Throw to first is in time, and that retires the side, but not before 2 home runs elevate the Bearcats to a 5-2 lead over the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're listening to Cincinnati Baseball on the voice of the student voice of the Cats here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Ryan Insko now on the mound for Cincinnati. Chase Horse Day is done. Horse with only 1 inning of work, but allowed 2 runs and 2 hits. That brings in Ryan Insko, right-handed pitcher, redshirt senior from Kirkwood, Missouri. He is a transfer from Central Michigan, another one of the players that followed Jordan Bischel down. Ranked second on the team in appearances of 24, which are all in relief, and went 1-1 with a save. Struck out 26 and walked 15 over 32 innings with a 4.22 ERA. Back in the 2023 season as a UT Martin transfer before he went to Central Michigan. Insko also with a perfect 3-0 record with a 2.40 ERA on the year so far, facing off against the Ohio State batter in Jamarusti, who gets hit on the first pitch. So now Jamarusti is on first base, and we're back to the top of the order for Ohio State, and Lipsy out a single was brought back in the first inning. Not the best start for Insko. Has 15 innings pitched with a save so far this season as well. 11 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them are earned, 9 walks and 12 strikeouts. Also allowing 2 doubles. As that pitch is outside for ball 1. Lipsy 1 for 1 on the day with his run, is a .333 average with runners on. So he sits with a 1-0 count, 1 runner on. That pitch outside, ball 2. And as midweeks go, you'll see a lot of pitching between both sides. Cincinnati already made the change. I imagine Ohio State will make the change as well. The action currently in the bullpen. Pickoff attempt not in time to first base, trying to catch Jamrusty. It's unsuccessful. So he now gets set. He favors that first base side of the rubber. Winds, deals, right down Broadway, strike 1. Now a 2-1 count for Trey Lipsy. Bearcats lead 5-2 after 2 home runs in the top half of the second. Pitch on the way, outside, ball 3. Drove in 2 runs on each of the home runs. Tommy O'Connor hitting 1. Before Josh Cross would be caught out as the runner goes on that pitch, but it'll be a 5-pitch walk. Lipsy advances to first base. And Jamrusty advances to second, brings up Kazmar to the plate to bat. Tommy O'Connor and Alec Jones were the Bearcats that hit home runs in that bottom half of the first, and now a very quick meeting as Insko has allowed 2 runners on by means of walk and hit by pitch. And it looks like his day is done just like that. Faced 2 batters, both of them are on, and we will tell you all about the new pitcher here right after the break. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Insko's out. Joey Hurth is in for Cincinnati, right-handed pitcher. Transfer from Indiana State. He's a junior. Missed the majority of last season at Indiana State due to injury, but in 2022 finished 125th in the NCAA in total saves with 5 and 5th in the MVC in saves with 5. And 6 appearances with 25. He comes in to today's contest with a 6.75 ERA, 1-1 record, 16 innings pitched, 15 hits allowed, 13 runs, 12 of them earned with 15 strikeouts and 3 home runs allowed as well on the year so far as he faces off against Kazmar, who was the next batter up before Insko got pulled. Insko allowing 2 runners to reach, 1 hit by pitch, the other walked. Now Joey Hurth comes in relief for the Bearcats. Kazmar walked in the first, was brought back in as well. Looks like we're about ready to go, but third base coach for Ohio State wasn't quite ready yet as he makes his way out to get set. Ballpark filling up quite nicely here on this Tuesday afternoon. That pitch in the zone, strike 1. start off Joey Hurst's day. Runner at first, and Lipsy will close out Insco's line. As Hurth looks back to second, now back home. Pitch on the way, outside, ball 1. Evens it at 1. Runners in scoring position for Ohio State. It is Jim Roosty at second base. Pitch on the way, swung on, hit in to right center, and that will advance the runners. And getting the windmill is one runner, but not the other, as Jamarosti will touch home plate, decrease the Cincinnati lead back to 2, 5-3. For an RBI single, will be hit by Kazmar and bring Rawson up to the plate. He had an RBI single in the first. One of the hotter hitters for Ohio State. Had his 6 RBI day this past Saturday against Michigan State. The pitch on the way, right down Broadway for strike 1. So now runners on the corners for Ohio State. Lipsy at third, Kazmar at first. Rawson bats with a .571 with runners on in scoring position, as that one is outside for ball 1. Evens the count at 1. No outs for Ohio State. Joey Hurth trying to close out the home half of the second. That pitch outside, ball 2. Lipsy is the end of the line for Insco, who has 1 earned run on the day. Jamaruski was brought in. That one popped into shallow right field. Coming up to get it is Sefcik. He makes the catch. Runner's tag. And the play at the plate is not in time, as Lipsy will run home, and the line is closed for Insco. Now a 5-4 ball game. Ohio State plates 2 more. Bottom of the second. Now 1 out for Ohio State and 1 runner on. Kazmar stands at first base. He did not advance. Brings up Petterini to the plate. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to first base as that one finds the gap between second and third, and that will advance Kazmar to second. And Petterini will be standing at first base. 4th hit of the day for Ohio State. Now Gravelin steps up. He was hit by pitch in the first. So it looks like it'll be a long day for Cincinnati pitching. First pitch on the way, and that'll be outside for ball 1. 1-0 count, 1 out, 2 runners on. It's Kazmar at second and Petterini at first. Hurth looks back to second. Now home, pitch on the way. Swung on and tipped foul. It's hit down the third base line. And runners thought it would stay fair, but made an awkward bounce out of the line. So they'll head back to their respective bases. Joey Hurth awaiting Gravelin to be ready. He is now. Hurth looks back to second. Now back again. Now back home. Pitch on the way. Outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count. 1 out. 2 runners on. Dangerous spot for Joey Hurth and the Bearcats. It's a 2-1 count, excuse me. Hurth the pitch. High ball, now ball 3. Now stands in the 3-1 count. Cincinnati holds a 5-4 lead. Here, bottom of the second. Ohio State has driven in 2 more runs to add on to their 2 that were scored in the bottom of the first. As that one hit right to the shortstop, throw to second is in time. Double play ball is in time. Cincinnati escapes the bottom of the second with the lead, but not before Ohio State plates 2 and cuts the lead back to 1. Cincinnati leading 5-4 as we head back to the Bearcat half of the 3rd inning. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on the student voice of the Cats, on Bearcats Sports Radio. Shaw still the man on the mound for Ohio State. He has 2 innings of work so far. 3 hits are allowed. 2 of them are home run. So 1 is a single. There's 5 earned runs as well. 12 batters faced and 51 pitches heading into the top half of the 3rd inning. Cincinnati leading 5-4 here at Bill Davis Stadium. In-state matchup in the state capitol. Ohio State takes on Cincinnati for the 100th all-time meeting between these two schools. Up to bat, the leadoff, the top half of the 3rd is Hunter Jesse. He is 0 for 1, struck out in the 1st. Bearcats had a 5-run 2nd inning to launch them to a 3-run lead, but Ohio State would answer back with 2 runs of their own. Now the Bearcats lead by 1 run as that pitch high for ball 1 to Hunter Jesse. Bearcats now looking to hold on to this lead. Pitch on the way right down the middle for strike 1. Be the 28th win should Cincinnati hold on. That will be the 71st win should Ohio State come back. Pitch just in the zone for strike 2, 1-2 count to Hunter Jesse. Already struck out once today. Shaw's pitch, swung on, driven foul. Way back behind the grandstand here at Ohio State. Shaw winds and deals. Very quick pitcher. That one's outside for ball 2. Doesn't take very long at the mound. Soon as the batter's ready, he is ready and already in his wind. The pitch, swing and a miss. Hunter Jesse gets sent back to the dugout. Another strikeout for Hunter Shaw. It'll be his 3rd on the day. Now Luke Sefcik, who got it all started in that top half of the 2nd inning, who had walked and was brought back home. It's the first run scored for Cincinnati. That pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Second pitch of the at-bat is right around the thighs, but outside. Or inside, excuse me, for ball 2. 2-0. 1 out, nobody on for Cincinnati. Pitch from Shaw just outside for ball 3. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Disbelief. Thinking that should be a strike. Hunter Shaw winds. That'll be a 4-pitch walk. Sefcik has walked for the 2nd time in as many at-bats. We'll bring up Josh Hegeman, who also reached on an error in the top half of the 2nd. It was a throw that would have been a very nice double play ball for Ohio State, but it sailed over the head of Mershon. It was out of play, and that would make both runners safe. Sefcik, pickoff attempt not in time. Hunter Shaw with many a pickoff attempt. Now pitch on the way, low for ball 1. threw about 7 or 8 to Josh Hegeman when he was on base, standing at first in the top half of the second. Pitch on the way in the zone for strike one. Counts even at 1 with 1 out, 1 runner on, Stefsik at first base. Cincinnati leading 5-4. Here as we sit top half of the third inning. Pitch on the way. Swung on and hit over into the gap, making his way over is Jim Roosty. He has the beat, he has the catch, and the out for the second out of the Bearcat half of the third. That retires Josh Hegeman. Now Loudon Brooks steps up. He flew out in the ninth. He flew out to right, top of the second. Makes him 0 for 1 on the day. He awaits the pitch on the way and right down Broadway for strike one. Stefsik still on at first. Pickoff attempt over to first base, not in time, as Stefsik wanted to go but decided not to just in time. So he has about a 5-step lead off the bag at first as he had another pickoff attempt. It's back. Yeah, my step measurements are not right. It's about a 3-step lead. I'm severely mistaken. Please spare me. That pitch swung on and hit right to the shortstop, and he loses the ball. And that's another error for Ohio State. Another 2-out error for Ohio State. Big time for Cincinnati. Last time they were presented with a 2-out situation, there were 2 home runs hit. Max Palmieri flew out in the second. Has an RBI attached to it. Can't do it this time with 2 outs. Looks like there will be a little bit of a meeting of the minds here. Eckelman heads out to the mound to talk with Shaw. It's now 2 runners on for Cincinnati. Stefsik at second, Brooks at first. Max Palmieri to bat. So there is action in the bullpen. And it looks like the Buckeyes are going to make the call. Hunter Shaw's day is done. 2 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 5 runs, 5 of them earned. His book isn't closed. He has 2 runners that are his responsibility in Stefsik and Brooks. Palmieri was the end of the book for Shaw, and we'll tell you all about the new Ohio State pitcher when we come back. You're listening to Cincinnati Baseball here on Bearcats Sports Radio. Buckeyes make the call to the pen. Chase Harrell, freshman from Cincinnati. He went to Milford High School. Right-handed pitcher. He was a 4-year letter winner at Milford. Senior year, fanned 69 batters and 50 2/3 innings pitched and an ERA of .96. Plays club ball for Midland with said club and won the Connie Mack World Series in 2022 and was a Connie Mack All-Tournament Team selection in 2023. Holds his school records in career strikeouts and single-season strikeouts as he warms up on the mound. Harrell 1-for-1 on the season, 26 and a third innings pitched. He's allowed 34 hits with a .581 ERA. It's 19 strikeouts and 16 walks. 17 earned runs as he faces off against Max Palmieri, who had that sacrifice fly in the top of the second. That started the scoring for Cincinnati. He swings on this one and drives it deep to left field, but it'll be tracked down and caught by Lipsy, and that will retire the side. Ohio State escapes without any damage and heads to the home half of the third inning. Down by 1 as Cincinnati leads 5-4. You're listening to Cincinnati Baseball here on Bearcats Sports Radio.
Buckeye baseball news. Throughout the game, you may scan the QR code on the video board now. Presented by First National Bank.
Joey Hurth remains on the mound for Cincinnati. He's, with 1 inning of work, has allowed 2 hits. He's able to escape a jam back in the bottom half of the second inning. And Mitchell Oakley leads off for Ohio State. Big Ten Distinguished Scholar in 2022 and 23. Played in 54 games and started in 52 of them. Led the Buckeyes in home runs with 9 and batted .237. With 39 runs scored and off of 41 hits. Along with 34 RBIs, went 8 for 12 in his stolen bases last season. Joey Hurth looks to help the Bearcats retain their lead, up 5-4. Here, bottom of the third, pitch on the way. Bunt is dropped right back to Hurth. Hurth throws, and it goes over the head of Tommy O'Connor, who gets the wave on to second base, and he will be standing at second after the ball is corralled by Sefcik, who had to come all the way in from right field. So that is a leadoff bunt double, but will be counted as an error for Cincinnati. So they have 1, Buckeyes have 2. The throw from Hurth to first was high, just out of reach of O'Connor. It's now a runner in scoring position. It's Oakley standing at second base. Rashawn now up to bat, who was hit by pitch, and that hit by pitch brought in a run for Ohio State, and Mershon showed bunt. Ball's outside for ball 1. Action in the bullpen for Cincinnati. It's been going on all game so far, as midweeks typically go. Hurth pitch high for ball 2. 2 on the count, no outs here, bottom of the third, excuse me. Rashawn up to bat, Eckelman on deck for Ohio State. Hurth looks back to second, now back home. Winds and deals, swung on and hit foul just out of reach of Tommy O'Connor, who almost had the glove, but just missed the running grab. Oakley will retreat back to second base. But a 4-step lead out on the base path. Hurth the pitch. Back pick to second is not in time. Alec Jones seeing that lead and sends a warning down to second base. Palmieri backs off to the left side of the bag now. Creeps back in slowly. Hurth looks back to second. No pickoff from him. Pitch on the way in the zone, strike one. Runs the count to 3-1 after the pitch on the back pick was outside. A 3-1 pitch. Swung on and hit deep to center field. Racing back at the wall is Hegeman. It's off the wall. Hegeman tracks it down. Throw comes in. It won't be in time to either base as it'll bounce off the third base runner and away. Picked up by Joey Hurth, and Ohio State is able to tie it off of a triple from Mershon. It bounced off the top of the wall and back into play. Oakley will score, ties things back at 5. Now the umpires will converge to discuss something. Up to bat is Eckelman. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out in the first. Mershon's triple. It's the first of the day for either team. Mershon has had total of 3. Ohio State, 22nd best team in triples and in all of college baseball with 16. Joey Hurth now winds and deals right down the middle for strike one. So that goes down as an unearned run for Joey Hurth. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit back in between Tommy O'Connor and Max Palmieri. No one got it. Trickles all the way back to Sefcik, scores a run, and Ohio State reclaims the lead 6-5 here at the bottom of the third. Ohio State has scored 2 runs in the first, second, and third, respectively, and out comes Jordan Bischel, and it looks like Joey Hurth's day may be done. Jordan Bischel does not come out to not make a pitching change often, and he makes the sign, and Joey Hurth has his day ended, and out comes a new pitcher. We'll tell you all about him when we come back. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Brendan Garula comes in relief for Cincinnati, the 6-foot left-handed pitcher out of Mason, Ohio. Attended Mason High School, made 7 appearances out of the bullpen last season with 8 strikeouts and 8 1/3 innings pitch in his collegiate debut against Georgia State. Pitching 1 1/3 innings in relief with 2 strikeouts. Was Division I Ohio Player of the Year in 2022. Back in high school, named first team All-Conference and All-City as a senior, and earned GMC Co-Player of the Year and All-City Co-Pitcher of the Year honors. Was selected to first team All-State. Houston, Texas native. Moved to Cincinnati. born August 4th of 2003. Which is crazy considering I was born in 2002. It's getting to the point where athletes everywhere are my age or younger than me, and now I'm sad, which is a dumb statement considering I'm only 21. But life goes on, and I will stop complaining and save it for somebody else. Brendan Garula will face off against Jamarusti, who was hit by pitch in the home half of the second inning. He's also brought back home in that 2-run second inning. Ohio State 2 runs in all 3 of their home innings so far. Pitch on the way, swung on and driven into the gap in right center field, and that will be a double for Jamarusti, and he's going all the way to third, scores a run, and he'll hold him there, second triple of the day, and back-to-back hits. Bats are hot for Ohio State, 6th hit of the day. Jamarusti hit it all the way back to the wall. No one was there to get it. Now we're back to the top of the order for Ohio State as they claim a 2-run lead, 7-5 here, bottom half of the third. Troy Lipsy up to bat for the Buckeyes. Still no outs for Cincinnati as that foul ball sails into the stands. Now, 0-1 count for Trey Lipsy, who's 1 for 1 on the day. A single was brought back home, and a walk was brought back home in the first and second, respectively, as that pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Fourth pitcher for Cincinnati, as Brendan Garula comes in relief. Winds and deals. High, ball 2. Bearcats are back home this weekend and face off against West Virginia. Another Big 12 series. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are those games as Brendan Garula winds, deals, pitch inside for ball 3. 3-1 is the count. 3-1, no outs, 1 runner on. It's Jamarusti, 90 feet from the plate at third. Lipsy up to bat for Ohio State. Winds and deals. That will be inside for ball 4. Lipsy makes his way down to first base on a 5-pitch walk. Now Henry Kazmar, steps up to the plate for Ohio State. Runners on the corners. It's a .310 with runners in scoring position, a .344 with runners on. It's 1 for 1 on the day with a walk in the first and a single on an RBI in the second. Pitch down the middle, strike 1. Brendan Garula currently with a 2.78 ERA and 2-0 record, 35 2/3 innings pitched this season, 37 strikeouts, 19 walks. That one in the zone, strike 2. That triple from Jamarusti was his first allowed of the season. He stands favoring the third base side of the rubber. Looks to first, winds, deals. Bounces in front of home plate, and Lipsy will advance to second base on the pitch that bounced off of Alec Jones. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Ohio State. They have hit 4 of 8 with runners in scoring position, good enough for 500. Garula winds, deals, pitch on the way in the zone, rings him up, strike 3. As Kazmar will head back to the dugout. His first strikeout on the day. Claims the first out for Cincinnati. As Rawson, who Singled in the first and had a sacrifice fly in the second. Steps up to the plate. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit. Foul down the third base line. It's an 0-1 count, 1 out. Runners in scoring position. It's Jamarusti at third and Lipsy at second. So Brendan Garula tries to get out of this inning. Currently with 1 out. Pitch on the way. In the dirt, ball 1. 1-1 is the count with 1 out. The lower deck is full here at Ohio State now. A good crowd and some Cincinnati fans wandering about. There's an Nelly De La Cruz jersey wandering around somewhere. Not sure if that's a Bearcat fan or an Ohio State fan, but surely a Reds fan. That one tipped foul. Makes the count 1-2. Reds play tonight against San Diego, 9:40 first pitch. As the Reds look for win number 2 and another series win against the Padres. Brendan Garula, pitch on the way, inside, ball 2. It's currently 2 games back in National League Central. 16-13 record. Chicago up top with an 18-11 record. Milwaukee right behind them, 17-11. Pitch on the way, inside for ball 3. Count runs full with 1 out. Runners in scoring position at second and third. So far, good seasons for Cincinnati's college programs and professional programs in the baseball world. Pitch on the way, swung on and tipped foul off Rawson. Still a 3-2 count. The Reds make a push for playoffs. We're just short last season. Bearcats fell in the conference tournament last season, looking like a splash in their first Big 12 conference tournament. As that one swung on, driven. If it's fair, it's gone, but it's foul off the wall in deep right. Sefcik almost made it in time, but it would bounce off the wall and keep the at-bat alive for Rawson. 3-2 count, 1 out, 2 runners on. It's Lipsy at second, Jamarusti at third. A decent-sized lead. Garula takes a breath, winds, deals, swung on and hit deep to right field, and it's back at the wall, and that is gone. 3-run home run for Rawson, who is arguably the hottest bat for Ohio State right now. Increases the lead for Ohio State to 5, 10-5 against Cincinnati. Bottom of the third, 1 out. It was a big-time hit for Rawson, who now is 2 for 2 on the day. They .394 average after that hit. Garula winds, deals inside, ball 1. Jordan Bischel quickly emerges from the dugout, and that will be it for Brendan Garula. Third of an inning of work for Garula. Looks like he might stay in. A rare occurrence for Jordan Bischel not to come out of the dugout and not pull a pitcher. Doesn't do that very often. Has faith in his lefty. He'll stay on the mound for Cincinnati. The 1-0 count, 1 out. Tyler Panteroni is 1 for 2 on the day, had a single in the second and grounded out in the first. So Bearcats trying to get out of this inning. Pitch on the way. Outside, ball 2. Some frantic action over the Cincinnati bullpen. Pitch on the way from Garula as that one is lined into right field, and that'll be a single for Petterini. It'll be the 9th hit for Ohio State today. 9 for 15 as a team. They have 3 extra base hits. Matthew Gravelin steps up to the plate now. He is 0 for 1. It was hit by pitch in the first, and double play was a part of a double play in the second. So Ohio State has now tallied 6 runs in the bottom of the third, totaling 10. Cincinnati has 5. They had scored all 5 in the second. Rule looks to first. Now back home, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. He gives the count at 1 with 1 out. So far, Garula has 3 earned runs after that home run. Big boy hit. Is that pitch on the way low, ball 2. This is Rawson. Smacked one deep to right, about 350 feet. A 2-1. In the zone just enough for a strike. It'll be even at 2. Still 1 out with 1 runner on. It's Petterini. It's Gravelin. Up to bat for Ohio State. Garula looks the first, now back home. Swing to the shortstop, another double play ball, and that ball will be in time. 3rd inning double play, but not before Ohio State does some major damage. Now leads by 5, 10-5 here as we head to the top half of the 4th inning. You're listening to Cincinnati Baseball here on Bearcats Sports Radio. Welcome back to Bill Davis Stadium. Ohio State 10, Cincinnati 5. As we head to the Bearcat half of the 4th inning. Bearcats 1 of 8 Big 12 games going on today. UCF, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Texas, Texas Tech, and Baylor all in action. Tonight, all but 2 of these games are being broadcasted. 4 of them on the Big 12 now on ESPN+. On ESPNU is West Virginia and Pitt, that game being played at PNC Park. And the Texas-Sam Houston game being broadcasted live on the Longhorn Network. And visiting the Pitt and West Virginia playing at PNC Park topic, I think that is justification for Cincinnati playing Xavier at Great American Ballpark. That one, first pitch swinging, tipped up and foul out of play. Alec Jones is up to bat against Chase Harrell. Got a 3rd inning of work, was able to retire the first batter he faced. But I do believe that Cincinnati and Xavier should play at Great American Ballpark. It's a staple of baseball history. And baseball teams from the city playing stadium of the first professional baseball team in the country. I will die on this hill. Follow me on Twitter, you know something about that. The 1-1. Check swing, and he went all the way. Be a 1-2 count for Alec Jones, who was 1 for 1 on the day. He had one of the 2 home runs hit by Cincinnati today. Home run with 2 RBIs attached to that one. Is that pitch in the dirt for ball 2, evens count at 2. But the Bearcats playing at Great American Ballpark is also an excuse for me to go call a game from Great American Ballpark, because that would be cool. Called a game from Paul Brown Stadium. Pitch on the way. Now we'll ring him up, strike 3. Alec Jones heads back to the dugout and will bring us back to the top of the order for Cincinnati. Carrington Cross is 1 for 1 on the day with a walk and a single. He's brought back home off of a Tommy O'Connor home run. Would have called a game at Paycor Stadium. I guess now Paycor, not Paul Brown anymore. And Heritage Bank Center is in the state that that's in. And just add another check to the tally. That pitch low. As Carrington Cross shows bunt, ball 1. It's kind of selfish, but it's kind of also a, Bearcats have played 1 game at Great American Ballpark. Is that pitch in the zone for strike 1. They played against Xavier in 2019 at Great American Ballpark as a part of a 3-game series that fit into a gap in the bye in between the end of the regular season and the conference tournament. Is that pitch in the zone for strike 2 at Carrington Cross. I think you'd be able to sell out a decent part of the lower bowl. Those 2 teams played there. Passionate fans for both programs. Is that pitch away for ball 2, evens at a count at 2. Two-two count, 1 out for Cincinnati. Carrington Cross up to bat against Chase Harrell. Harrell winds and deals. Outside ball 3, runs the count full. Tommy O'Connor on deck for Cincinnati. He has the other home run hit by the Bearcats today. Cross awaits the pitch on the way. Inside for ball 4. And Cross has reached base all 3 times today. The last time he was brought home by means of a ball launched off the bat of Tommy O'Connor. It's 1 for 2. Struck out looking in the first. Hit a home run in the second. Part of a 5-run second inning for Cincinnati. That pitch goes wild, and Carrington Cross will advance a base. And he may advance to third, but he chose not to. Zackelman couldn't find the ball on the backstop at first, was able to track it down. Holds Carrington Cross at second base. So he'll move up. He's now in scoring position. Tommy O'Connor, who has 42 RBIs now on the season, has a knack for bringing him in, along with Josh Cross, who's up on deck for Cincinnati. 1-0 count. Tommy O'Connor with 1 out, 1 runner in scoring position. Carrington Cross. Pitch on the way. Inside, ball 2. Walk seems to have shaken up Chase Harrell at least a little bit. Back-to-back pitches called ball. 1 pitch going wild. Pitch on the way, right down the middle, strike 1. Right, as I say that, I eat my words. Typically how it goes. Harrell. Set on the mound. Looks back to second, now back home. The pitch. Swing and a miss for Tommy O'Connor, strike 2. Evens it at 2. Josh Cross is on deck for Cincinnati. Due up Cross, Jesse, and Sefcik. Pitch on the way. And that is just outside of the zone for strike 3. Tommy O'Connor doesn't like the call, but he can't argue. Out number 2 for Ohio State. Josh Cross makes his way up to the plate for Cincinnati. He's 0 for 1. Is hit by pitch in the first and grounded out in the second. Has Carrington Cross up on second base. Looking to get brought home by Josh Cross. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit foul down the first base side. Almost into the Cincinnati dugout. Due up for Ohio State, Oakley, Mershon, and Eckelman. When we transition to the bottom half of the fourth. Ohio State leading 10-5 over Cincinnati. Pitch on the way, and it hits him. Second time today for Josh Cross getting hit. Still leads the team. He's one of the top of the Big 12 and getting hit by a pitch in a very painful way of reaching base, but I guess doesn't mind it as he takes off sprinting towards the first base bag and brings up Hunter Jesse to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day, struck out twice in the first and third. He hits with a .310 with runners in scoring position. That pitch right down the middle for strike one. He hits with a .219 with 2 outs. Chase Harrell looking to minimize the damage here in the top half of the fourth inning. Cincinnati looking to come back. That one tipped up high in the air, trying to track it down, and they will not. Gets lost in the sun. It's Carrington Cross will score. Holds Josh Cross at second and Hunter Jesse at first. Was hit high, lost in the sun by Kazmar, and that allows a base runner and a run to score. So now Cincinnati down by 4, 10-6. After the Ohio State outfield can't find it. Brings up Luke Sefcik, who's reached twice, both on walks. Pitch on the way, right down the middle, strike one. 2 runners on, Josh Cross at second, Hunter Jesse at first. Between the two, they have 4 stolen bases. Hunter Jesse has 3. That pitch hit up and foul. Lands on the awning. Now a 0-2 count for Sefcik. Chase Harrell trying to end the inning with only 1 run scored. Harrell looks back to second, now forward. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. Was just outside enough to keep the at-bat alive for Luke Sefcik. Harrell the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 called on Luke Sefcik. That'll retire the side, but not before Cincinnati brings home 1 and cuts the lead back to 4, 10-6 as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. You're listening to Cincinnati Baseball here on Bearcats Sports Radio.
All right, fans, it's time for our hat shuffle game. All you need to do is keep your eye on the ball. All right, be careful now. Keep your eye on the ball. Brutus, he likes to speed things up.
Brendan Garula still on the mound for Cincinnati. 1 inning of work, 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned off of a 3-run shot hit by Rawson. Ohio State gave him a 5-run lead heading into the top half of the fourth. Cincinnati brings home 1, and in that top half, cuts the lead back to 4, 10-6. Due up is Oakley for Ohio State. He's 0 for 2. The run, he struck out in the first and reached on an error in the third. Brendan Garula comes out for another inning of work. Action still in the Cincinnati bullpen as the midweeks go. One of 2 Big Ten midweek games on the road will face off against Indiana. That pitch plunks him from Brendan Garula, and Oakley will head down to first base. Hit Oakley square in the shoulder. It'll be a leadoff hit by pitch. Bearcats face off against Indiana on May 7th. Be next week, Tuesday, same time. Be right back here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Make the trip to Bloomington as that pitch inside for ball 1. Tamer Sean, who's 1 for 1 on the day, hit by pitch in the first. And that hit by pitch brought in a run and had a triple in the third, which also scored a run. Pitch on the way, and that one skied. And that will be back at the warning track and caught by Hunter Jesse. That will ward off any runners advancing in Oakley as he backtracks to first. Great tracking from Hunter Jesse. Able to save another extra base hit. Ohio State having 5 of them already. They look to increase their lead up by 4, 10-6 here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Rule looks to first, now back home. Pitch on the way right down the middle for strike 1 to Mason Eckelman, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Single and RBI in a third, struck out in the first. So he looks to drive in another run. Pitch from Garula on the way, hit down into right field. A beat is had and caught. Throw to first, it will not be in time to Tommy O'Connor, but Eckelman is out after Luke Sefcik is able to make the grab. Brings up out number 2 for Cincinnati. Now Jamarusti, who had another triple, part of that back-to-back triple sequence in the 3rd inning, part of a 6-run 3rd inning for Ohio State. He's also hit by pitch in the 2nd. So he steps up to the plate. He is 1 for 1 as that pickoff attempt from Garula to first base is not in time. Trying to catch Oakley, who is still there. He's not been able to advance after 2 flyouts. Garula, another pickoff, almost a balk. Was able to get the pick off in time. No foul called. So still looking for the first pitch of the at-bat. Here it comes inside. But called strike. It's a great job by Alec Jones to mask that one. Makes it an 0-1 count with 2 outs. 1 runner on, Oakley at first. Garula looks to first, now back home. Pitch on the way, swung on, hit foul, strike 2. Garula looking to retire the side here with an 0-2 count. Only had 1 runner reach by means of hit by pitch to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Garula, the pitch on the way, outside for ball 1. Oakley does have 5 stolen bases on the year. It's been caught twice. Garula, the 1-2. Swung on and hit foul backwards. Alec Jones can't make a play, and it sails into the stands. bouncing into the lower bowl. At bat still alive for Jamarusti. Sitting with a 1-2 count, 2 outs. Oakley still at first base. Jamarusti bats with a .333 with 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, but tipped foul. Just barely. Hear the faint clack of the bat against the ball. Just barely saved. Just Jamarusti looking to keep the inning alive. The pitch. Down for ball 2. Evens it at 2. Jamarusti now with an OPS of 1.006. The 2-2. And that will be in the zone for strike 3. Much to the displeasure of the Ohio State faithful. But Brendan Garula able to strand one runner and hit to the top of the 5th inning without any damage done. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back to Bill Davis Stadium here on the campus of Ohio State University. Ohio State 10, Cincinnati 6 is a cool promotion down the field. Concessions race taking place down the third base line. A popcorn, hot dog, and soda mascot all racing down the third base line, and the winner is 50% off for the next inning. Fun little promotion there, and hot dog would tackle the soda after the soda won. Hot dog, I guess, bitter. Has that progressed? Nonetheless, brings Josh Hegeman up to the plate for Cincinnati. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Reached on an error in the second. Pitch in the zone for strike 1. Flew out in the third. Chase Harrell still on the mound for Ohio State. Inning in the third of work. 1 hit, 1 run, which is earned. 0-1 count now to Josh Hegeman. Pitch on the way. Evens it at 1 after the ball is called outside. 100th meeting between these two programs, like I've mentioned before. Pitch on the way. Swung on and hit over to the second baseman. Grabs it. Launched to first is in time. 4-3 put out for Ohio State. Grabs out number 1. Now, it's also time for some Bearcat trivia that I've come up with pre-game, and the answer will be revealed bottom of the 6th inning, so inning and a half to think about it. As Loudon Brooks steps up to the plate, he's 0 for 2 on the day. Chase Harrell winds and deals high for ball 1. Now on to your Bearcat trivia. Tommy Boba almost threw a no-hitter during the Kansas series, but was unfortunately broken up by a bunt. When was the last time a Bearcat threw a no-hitter? Was it A, 2002, pitch on the way, swung on and foul. Runs the count to 1-1. Is it A, 2002, B, 1995, C, 1999, or D, 2023? Again, when was the last time a Bearcat hit a no-hitter? 2002, 1995, 1999, 2023. That pitch in the zone for strike 2 to Loudon Brooks. If you want, you can tweet me at Herzog_sports on Twitter or at BCM Sports Radio on Twitter as well with your answers. You won't have to. That pitch in the dirt for ball 2. Even the count at 2 for Loudon Brooks. Second batter face of the inning for Chase Harrell. The third time the question, when was the last time a Bearcat threw a no-hitter? 2002, 1995, 1999, or 2023. Is that pitch low for ball 3, runs the count full at 3-2 with 1 out. Send me your answers on Twitter if you'd like. Answer will be revealed bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit high up in the air. It is foul, but a beat is had by Gravelin, and he moves over and makes the grab in foul territory for out number 2 of the top half of the 5th inning. Brings up Max Palmieri. Sacrifice fly in the second, flew out in the third. So we progress through the Cincinnati batting order. Trey Lipsy, Henry Kazmar, and Hunter Rawson due up for Ohio State. That pitch down the middle for strike 1 to Max Palmieri. 3 strikeouts on the day for Chase Harrell. Looking for another, winds and deals. In the zone, strike 2. 0-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on for Cincinnati as they trail 10-6 here at Ohio State. Chase Harrell winds the pitch. Just outside for ball 1. Rumbles from the crowd. That one sails just outside the zone. 92 miles an hour off the arm of Harrell. Harrell tries again. Swung on and driven foul way back and out of the ballpark. Right behind the grandstand. It's a 1-2 count with 2 outs, nobody on for Max Palmieri. Bearcats trail. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Max Palmieri gets sent back to the dugout in Ohio State. Shuts out the Bearcats for another inning. So we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Ohio State 10, Cincinnati 6 here on Bearcat Sports Radio.
We simply have a perfect evening here tonight at Bill Davis Stadium, and we're going to make it better. How about a little hang on, Sloopy?
Bearcats make the call to the bullpen. Drew Erdman comes out, right-handed pitcher from Walsh Jesuit High School out of Hudson, Ohio. He's a varsity letter winner in baseball and football at his alma mater. Threw a perfect game and a no-hitter in the playoffs as a senior and earned first-team all-conference honors back in high school as a defensive end. He played for the football team and played for the Midland Redskins, where he was a runner-up in the Connie Mack World Series. His grandfather played in the St. Louis Cardinals organization as well, so baseball background for Mr. Erdman. 9.64 ERA. He's an 0-1 record with 9 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 10 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. So he warms up on the mound for Cincinnati, trailing by 4, 10-6. So we entered the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Ohio State. Sun setting behind the stadium adds a not-so-nice glare into right field specifically. Left field is a little bit more shaded now. Temperature cooling down as well here in Columbus. It's about about 64 degrees. About 72, excuse me. Not sure where I got the 64 from in my look at the forecast here. Leading on for the Buckeyes, excuse me, is Lipsy. Single in the first, 2 walks, the second and third, and was brought home all 3 of those times. Bearcats didn't allow a run in the bottom of the 4th. First time they had done that all game. Allowed 2 in the first and second and 6 in the third. It's that pitch just outside for ball 1. Brings us to our 10-6 ball game. The Cincinnati brought in 5 in the second and 1 in the 4th. Urban stands on the mound, favoring the first base side. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit foul. Even the count at 1. That one sails into the parking lot. Lipsy with his 3 runs. 2 walks. Trying to reach base for the 4th time today. That pitch right down the middle for strike 2. 1-2 the count runs. No action in either bullpen for the first time today. Ohio State has used 2 pitchers. Cincinnati has used 5. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike 3 called on Trey Lipsy, and he heads back to the dugout. Nice pitch there from Drew Erdman. Tires the leadoff batter and brings up Henry Kazmar, who's 1 for 2 on the day. It's a walk, an RBI single, and struck out looking in the 3rd. As the Buckeyes look to retain this lead, they have 10 runs on 9 hits. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Henry Kazmar. Bearcats have 6 runs on 4 hits and an error. Ohio State has 2 errors on the day. Erdman winds and deals. Outside ball 1. A good start for Erdman. Struck out the first batter he's faced. Team has only totaled 5 on the day. That one makes contact over the shortstop. Throw to first is in time. Second out of the bottom half of the 5th, earned by Cincinnati. Brings up the hot hand in Rawson. Rawson 2 for 2. RBI single, sacrifice fly, and a 3-run home run in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, respectively. He's 1 away from tying his career high that he made on Saturday. That pitch fouled off back behind the stadium. Strike 1. Rawson had 6 RBIs against Michigan State on Saturday. Buckeyes fell in that series 1 win to 2, excuse me. The 0-1. Swung on and hit high up in the air. Sefcik has a beat on it. Will he make it in time? He will not, as it sails into the bullpen, but runs the count to 0-2. Urban looking to go 1-2-3 here in this bottom of the 5th inning. So the Bearcats to the top of the 6th, still down 4. Bearcats looking for a comeback win. They did that in 2022 in the first game of a 2-game series. The walk-off home run in the home opener. That pitch outside for ball 1. They would win that one 5-4 off the bat of Cam Sheeler. The return trip for Cincinnati would not be as kind, as they would lose 5-3. First time 2 teams have met this season. A swing and a miss, and rings up Rawson. Retires the side, no damage done. 1-2-3 for Erdman, who comes in relief, and that sends us to the top half of the 6th inning. Buckeyes lead 10-6 over the Bearcats when we come back and listen to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Bearcats trail the Buckeyes 10-6 here at Bill Davis Stadium as we head to the top half of the 6th inning, and Bearcats fighting for a spot in the Big 12, in the Phillips 66 Big 12 tournament held at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. From May 21st to 25th, top 10 teams make it in a modified double elimination format. It's the 3rd consecutive season that Globe Life Field has served as the backdrop for this event. 2002 and 2004. This is also the 5th time that Arlington has played host, which 2002, 2004 are included in those years. Alec Jones leads off for Cincinnati against Chase Harrell, still on the mound for the Buckeyes. Has had 2 1/3 innings of work and had a strong showing in those 2 1/3 innings. And first 2 pitches in the dirt for balls 1 and 2. Runs the count to 2-0. Alec Jones is 1 for 2 on the day. Has one of the 2 home runs hit by the Bearcats, which is also one of the 2 extra base hits. As Alec Jones skies this one. Beat on it is had by Lipsy. He makes his way over, makes the catch for out number 1. The top of the 6th inning. Now remember, answer for trivia due next half inning. When was the last time a Bearcat threw a no-hitter? 2002, 1995, 1999, or 2023? Answers can be submitted on Twitter at Herzog_sports. If you feel so inclined, you do not have to. Pitch on the way to Carrington Cross, who lines this one past the shortstop, and he'll have a single standing up as he sails that one past Kazmar. Has reached base once again in this game. Hard hit off the bat. Sets up 1 runner for Tommy O'Connor, who had a home run the second, struck out looking in the 1st and 4th. Had a home run that brought home Carrington Cross. Back in that 2nd inning, it was a 5-run 2nd inning. Pitch on the way in the dirt for ball 1. Makes Tommy O'Connor 1 for 3 on the day. Average right at 300. Chase Harrell pickoff attempt not in time. Trying to catch Carrington Cross off his mark. Not a too crazy of a lead over at first base. Pitch on the way outside, ball 2. Cross is itching to go. Made a little bit of a move towards the second base bag, but ended up heading backwards after the pitch was thrown. Swing and a miss from Tommy O'Connor, strike 1. The Bearcats look for win number 26 on the year. Most wins in recent history is 34. That was the time that they went to the NCAA tournament. Pickoff attempt not in time. Trying to catch Carrington Cross at first. Bearcats would win the first round against Oregon State, who was top ranked at the time. Huge upset win. We've gone to lose to Creighton in the next round. Pitch on the way. Right down Broadway for strike 2. Evens it at 2. Two count with 1 out, 1 runner on. Harrell throws over to first, not in time. Pitch clock was at about 5 seconds remaining. Was able to avoid the pitch clock violation. Carrington Cross stands at first. That pitch inside for ball 3. Runs the count to full 3-2. Bearcats trail 10-6 as Tommy O'Connor launches that one high up in the air. Beat is had by Lipsy. He tracks that one down, makes the catch for out number 2. Lipsy responsible for 2 flyouts on the day, or on the inning, excuse me. That holds Carrington Cross over at first, and Josh Cross steps up to the plate, hit by pitch twice today. Grounded out in the second inning. Josh Cross, who leads the Big 12 with 54 RBIs. Pickoff attempts to first, not in time. Ranks 3rd in the Big 12 with 13 home runs and 3 home run performance at St. Louis. Tied UC single-game school record. Or tied for the most by any Big 12 players. Cross skies that one. Trying to make the grab is Eckelman, and Eckelman does make the grab for the 3rd out. For the top of the 6th inning, we head to the bottom of the 6th. Buckeyes leading 10-6 against Cincinnati. When we come back, you're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio.
All right, fans, please direct your attention to the top of the first base dugout, where tonight we have Kenzie about to play a game of Name That Tune. Kenzie will be listening to 3 different theme songs from notable TV shows and get a chance to tell us the name of that song. If they name 2 out of 3 correctly, Kenzie will take home a prize. All right, let's cheer on for Kenzie. Here we go, song number 1. All right, Kenzie, what is it? Do you have a guess?
Is it Jurassic Park? I don't know.
No, it's Criminal Minds, but we got 2 shows to go. Here we go, song number 2. All right, what is it, Kenzie?
This is Suits. My dad watches this.
You got it. That's your 1 for 2. Here we go, song number 3.
Love you.
Welcome back to Bill Davis Stadium. Bearcats trailing the Ohio State Buckeyes 10-6.
All right, Kenzie, what is it?
Here as we head down to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jordan still on the mound for the Bearcats, had an inning of work and retired all 3 batters that he faced, 2 by strikeout, 1 by putout. So we sit here, bottom of the 6th inning. Jordan Bischel in his first season at the helm for Cincinnati. Very successful up at Central Michigan, where he came from. Multiple MAC championships, and it's also boasting a 15-5 record at home as that pitch outside for ball 1 to Tyler Petteroni. It's 2 for 3 on the day. 2 singles in the 2nd and 3rd and grounded out in the 1st. Cincinnati's outscored its opponents 164-99 at home as that pitch in the zone for strike 1. Conversely, Cincinnati has had their struggles on the road. Pitch on the way, tapped over to the second baseman. Throw to first will be in time to Tommy O'Connor. making the first out on a 4-3 putout for Petteroni. Cincinnati on the road so far, 7-14. 3-0 in neutral site games so far this season, 25-19 overall, 11-10 in conference play. They are 6 games above 500. 4 games back at the top of the Big 12. Swinging a foul ball, sails way back out of the ballpark. For Gravelin, who is 0 for 2 on the day, hit by pitch, and back-to-back double plays in his last 2 at-bats. Can't double play this time, as nobody's on. 0-1 count with 1 out. Swung on and hit, driven deep to center field. Hegeman goes back, has a beat on it. He's able to make the catch for out number 2. Drew Erdman, 5 batters faced, 5 batters put away. As Oakley steps up to the plate, he's 0 for 2, reached on an error in the 3rd, hit by pitch in the 4th, and struck out in the 1st. 2 outs, nobody on for Ohio State. They lead 10-6. It's that pitch high for ball 1. Next game for the Buckeyes will be Akron tomorrow. It's part of a back-to-back 2-game midweek series. As Erdman, that pitch inside for ball 2. Cincinnati had back-to-back midweeks of their own just a few weeks ago. Faced off against Eastern Kentucky and Xavier 2 weeks ago. One against Eastern Kentucky, fell to Xavier. That pitch outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count, 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch on the way from Erdman, swung on and hit foul, evens the count at 2. Cincinnati's remaining schedule, there's 3 Big 12 conference series left. West Virginia at BYU and Oklahoma. 2 more non-conference as well after this one, Indiana and UConn. Indiana is at Bloomington. Pitch outside, runs the count full, 3-2. UConn at home is the last non-conference game of the season. It's an 11 a.m. first pitch. Education Day for the Bearcats. They face off against more Big East foe in UConn. That pitch inside for ball 4, and that'll be a walk. The first one for Erdman on the day, his 15th on the year. You don't want to miss the last couple of games. 7 home games remain. They get out to the ballpark for Cincinnati's inaugural season in the Big 12. Game against West Virginia on Friday. First pitch slated for 5 p.m. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Deep cut from Joseph Mershon, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Had a triple in the 3rd. An RBI attached to that one was brought home in the 3rd as well. And hit by pitch, which brought in a run in the 1st, which began the scoring for Ohio State. Pitch on the way. In the zone, strike 2. Ohio State, after Akron, will go to Illinois, then face off against Eastern Michigan, Youngstown State, Northwestern, and Rutgers. Last non-conference game for them is Youngstown State. As a pickoff attempt bouncing off the infield dirt. Makes it to Tommy O'Connor, but is not in time. Not almost a bad situation for Cincinnati. Able to corral it is Tommy O'Connor. 0-2 the count with 1 runner on. It's Oakley at first. Marshawn at the plate. Pickoff attempts not in time once again. Joseph Marchand still at the plate. Pitch on the way from Erdman, high for ball 1. Runs the count to 1-2, 2 outs, 1 runner on. Oakley at first. Looking for the third scoreless inning for Ohio State is Cincinnati. They look them out to come back of their own. Erdman to first base, not in time. Erdman feels something that he likes. Being a right-handed pitcher, not facing first base, but getting the sign anyway. That one swung on and driven into the gap in deep right center. That'll drop for a base hit, and it'll be an extra base hit. It'll be a standing double for Mershon. And a throw to home plate just to hold everybody. It's caught by Alec Jones. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Ohio State. Oakley advances to third. Marchand advances to second. Eckelman steps up to the plate for Ohio State. Batting average up to a .138 after an RBI single in the third. He flew out in the fourth and struck out in the first. Marchand, who's on second, has 13 stolen bases. Oakley on third has 5. 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position for Ohio State. The pitch, high for ball 1. Urban now has allowed 1 hit, 1 walk with 2 strikeouts and a double. The 7 batters faced so far. The 26 pitches here, bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, but also in the zone for called strike 1. One count, 2 outs for Eckelman. Pitch on the way. Right down the middle for strike 2. Erdman looking to get out of this slight jam with no issues. Ohio State 10, Cincinnati 6. Erdman takes a breath, winds and deals. Swung on, tip foul back to the backstop. Just because I realized I forgot the answer to when was the last time Bearcat threw a no-hitter? 1995. It's the last time a Bearcat threw a no-hitter, and that no-hitter belongs to Chris Murphy, April 15th, 1995 versus IUPUI. That pitch fouled off back to the backstop. So if you guess 1995, it's your lucky day. You win the satisfaction of being right, and that's about it. 1-2 the count to Eckelman, keeping the at-bat alive and trying to keep the inning alive and also bring in a run. Or reach base and load the bases, one of the two. Erdman winds and deals. In the zone, strike 3 called. That retires the side before any damage can be done. Another scoreless inning for Ohio State. Cincinnati comes up to the top of the 7th inning, down by 4, 10-6. When we come back and listen to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Buckeyes make a call to the bullpen. Tim Baird makes his way out to the mound. A senior right-handed pitcher out of North Royalton High School. Academic All-Big Ten in 2022. Appeared in 1 game before missing the remainder of the season due to injury back in 2023. Appeared in 17 games out of the bullpen in 2022, striking out 25 batters across 20 in the third innings and allowing 19 earned runs with a 2-1 record. Didn't see any action in his freshman year, and this season making another appearance. He has 1 2/3 innings of work, 1 hit, 1 run, which is earned, a walk, 3 Ks, and an ERA of 5.40. Facing off against Hunter Jesse. Today has struck out twice, and had a RBI single back in the 4th inning, which has been the last run scored by either team in 2.5 innings. So say here, top half of the 7th inning. Ethan Herzog with you here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Glad you could tune in. Allow me to tell this story as the Bearcats face off against the Buckeyes for the 100th time all season, or all in program history. Excuse me. I'm interacting with some fans. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Probably the scoreboard. They're probably I'm not sure what's going on down there. Hunter Jesse up to bat for the Bearcats. Trying to mount a comeback here. Top half of the 7th inning. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit hard down to left center, racing back to get it, and they will, is Jamarusti making the grab on the warning track. Hunter Jesse had some power, but not enough. So he caught back for the first out as Luke Sefcik makes his way up to the plate. Reached twice today, both on walks. Struck out in the 4th inning. Was brought back home in that 5-run 2nd inning that the Bearcats had. It's Tim Baird. Winds and deals. Outside for ball 1. Escapes the glove of Eckelman back behind home plate. Facing off against Luke Sefcik for the first time today. Sefcik's 4th at bat, excuse me. That pitch outside for ball 2. Oh, 2 count, 1 out, nobody on for Cincinnati. Baird winds and deals. Down below the strike zone for ball 3. Runs the count to 3-0. It's now 3-0, 1 out. Cincinnati with 2.5 innings to work with to make a comeback. Pitch on the way, in the zone, strike 1. Luke Sefcik up to a .326 average now. Looking to reach base for the 3rd time today. That pitch in the zone, strike 2, runs the count full with 1 out. Now full count, nobody on for Cincinnati as they sit here in the waning innings of this one. Pitch on the way. High, ball 4, and that will be a walk for Luke Sefcik, his 3rd of the day. Bearcats now with a base runner. Looking to capitalize on that one. It's Josh Hegeman, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Steps up to the plate, reached on an error in the top half of that 5-run 2nd inning. Then flew out and grounded out in the 3rd and 5th, respectively. Pickoff attempts, first pitch of the at-bat is outside for ball 1. Makes it a 1-0 count with 1 runner on. Josh Hegeman waits the pitch on the way in the zone for strike 1. Evils it at 1, and Hegeman, who's 0 for 3 on the day, is feeling like he's due. Pickoff attempt not in time. It's Tim Baird Saw something he liked over at first base. The pitch is not, or the throw is not in time to Gravelin. Pitch on the way, outside for ball 2. Zekelman makes his moves over to his left, looking for a back pick, as decides not to make the throw. Baird looks to home, gets set. Now steps off and throws it over to first base. It's a soft throw, almost like he was unsure. Nonetheless, a 2-1 count still with 1 out, 1 runner on. Sefcik stands at first base. Ohio State leading 10-6. Here, top of the 7th, pitch on the way, outside, ball 3. Tim Baird, currently with a third of an inning done. He's made 4 appearances this season. That pitch outside, ball 4. Josh Hegeman reaches on the walk. 4 appearances for Tim Baird have seen a third of an inning, and a full inning against Boston College, Arizona State, and Cal Poly. All in that order. So Loudon Brooks now steps up to the plate, but a meeting at the mound for Ohio State. No call to the bullpen was made. Just a little bit of a discussion as 2 runners are on for Cincinnati. Hegeman at first, Sefcik at second. Loudon Brooks steps up to the plate. 2 doubles, 3 triples on the year. He's 0 for 3 on the day as well. Flew out in the 2nd and 5th. Grounded out in the 3rd. Bats with a .395 with runners in scoring position. Sefcik stands on second. .354 with runners on. Tim Baird with 1 out, trying to retire this Cincinnati side, who has a knack for making a comeback. Pitch on the way, outside, ball 1. Tim Baird taking his time. 14 seconds left on the pitch clock to work with. Loudon Brooks ready in the box. Tim Baird gets set. Looks back to second. Now back home. Pitch on the way. Outside, ball 2. 93-mile-an-hour pitch down and away for Tim Baird. Sets up Loudon Brooks for a 2-0 count. Baird looks back to second, now back home. Pitch on the way, swinging, and foul. Makes strike 1. Bearcats have a total 6 walks on the day. They 254 on the year. Very patient ball club. That pitch up for ball 3. Ohio State with 222 on the year. Cincinnati with a 3-1 count. 2 runners on. Sefcik at second and Hegeman at first look to load the bases as Loudon Brooks stands in the box. Waiting the pitch. Pitch on the way. And that is outside for ball 4. And that advances Loudon Brooks to first, Hegeman to second, Sefcik to third. Loads the bases for Cameron Guidry. Pinch hitting for Cincinnati. Guidry, who
Pinch hitting for the Bearcats, number 9, Cameron Guidry.
has a knack for hitting game-changing, momentum-shifting home runs. Steps up to the plate, but not before Ohio State makes a call to the bullpen, and we will tell you all about him when when we come back. Ohio State leading over Cincinnati 10-6 here on Bearcats Sports Radio.
Pitching for the Buckeyes, number 31, Jacob Morin.
Jacob Morin steps to the mound for Ohio State. Transfer from Tennessee Tech. He's a right-hander and graduate student prior to Ohio State. Set a single-season record at Tennessee Tech for opposing batting average after holding his opponents to a .193 average. Had a 3-0 record in 2023 after making 20 appearances on the mound, fanning 48 in 45 innings pitched and recording 5 saves with a 3.0 ERA. It was all OVC, second team selection. Now, coming up to bat for Cincinnati, Cameron Guidry. Who comes in pitch hitting situations, redshirt senior, right-hander, transfer from Georgia, batted a .248 last season. 6 home runs. And had a grand slam last year as well. He made 4 starts in 18 games with Georgia as well before transferring to Cincinnati. As he looks to face off against Jacob Morin, 4-1 on the year so far, 22 1/3 innings pitched with a 5.24 ERA. He's only allowed 2 home runs on the season. Cameron Guidry has 5. He's 9 for 41 on the year, 14 RBIs, struck out 17 times. Big pitch hitting situation for Cincinnati. Pitch on the way. In the zone, strike 1. Guidry, who's .220 average on the year. It's an on-base percentage of 1.003. Has not had a chance to bat with the bases loaded yet this season. The pitch. Swing and a miss for Cameron Guidry, strike 2. .0-2 count, bases loaded for Cameron Guidry. Pitch on the way from Morin. Check swing, did not go. Runs the count to 1-2 with 1 out. Cincinnati trailing 10-6 here at Bill Davis Stadium. Trying to mount a comeback here late. Pitch on the way. Swung on and popped up high in the air over the first base side. Gravelin tracking it down, makes the catch. And that's the second out of the top of the 7th inning. Bases still loaded. Brooks on first, Hegeman on second, Sefcik on third. As up to bat comes Alec Jones.
Batting for Cincinnati, the catcher, number 0, Alec Jones.
Alec Jones, who has 3 home runs on the season, 1 today, and 3 doubles. Pitch on the way, inside, ball 1. First bases loaded situation for Cincinnati today. They sit 5 of 25 as a team. 2 extra base hits, both of which are home runs. Pitch on the way, swung on and tipped foul up in the air. Land scarily close to the window of the press box. So it was popped almost straight up in the air. Angled backwards. Evens the count at 1-1 for Alec Jones. The pitch on the way. In the dirt for ball 2. Runner stay. Had the stop sign from Alec Jones and third base coach. Count stands at 2-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Cincinnati. Alec Jones at the plate, pitch on the way, swung on and driven high up in the air, back to center field. Jamarusi has a beat on it, makes the catch, strands 3 runners, and Cincinnati heads to the bottom of the 7th, down by 4 to Ohio State. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio.
To join us in the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Some changes defensively for Cincinnati. Out at second base is Palmieri. Loudon Brooks moves over to second, and Cameron Guidry steps over to the shortstop position after pinch hitting the top half of the 7th. Bearcats trail by 4, 10 runs to 6 here at Bill Davis Stadium, campus of Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Ethan Herzog with you here as we wind down. Just stretched. As Drew Erdman returns to the mound for Cincinnati. 2 innings pitched, only has allowed 1 hit. 3 strikeouts on the day so far. As he looks to hold off the Buckeyes for another inning. Imagine coming up soon, you may see Christian Mitchell, who has been a known closer for the Bearcats. Now Jamarusti steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Hit by pitch in the 2nd and a RBI triple back in the 3rd. Is that one in the zone, strike 1, and Jamarusti had shown bunt, but missed. Makes the count 0-1. Erdman finding the zone very well. 32 pitches in his 2 innings as he misses the bunt. That'll be counted strike 2. So he tried to make the move towards it and missed again. Jamarusti really trying for that bunt, doesn't show it. That one away for ball 1. The last bunt that was hit by the Buckeyes went for a double, but was called an error. It's a 1-2 count to Jamarusti. Swung on and hit foul. Shrieks heard across the ballpark as that one sails foul. Bearcats back in action on Friday, facing off against West Virginia for a start of a 3-game series. First game against the Mountaineers starts on Friday at 5 p.m. Saturday at 3. West Virginia will close close it out at a 1 p.m. rubber match on Sunday. That pitch in the dirt for ball 2. Evens the count at 2. Count even at 2, no outs for Ohio State. Pitch from Erdman on the way, low for ball 3, runs the count full. Ohio State has only played against one Big 12 opponent as that ball is hit straight down the middle, and it will be a single for Jamarusti as it gets past Goodry. Be a leadoff single for him, and Buckeyes off to a start here in the bottom of the 7th. As Trey Lipsy is able to make his way over to the batter's box. He is 1 for 2 on the day. Single, 2 walks, and a strikeout. .274 is his batting average now after a sequence of events. Is that ball called strike? Next count 0-1, no outs with 1 runner on. Pickoff attempt not in time to first base. Trying to catch Jamarusti off his mark. Take that back. Ohio State has played 4 Big 12 opponents. They have faced off against BYU and West Virginia and Oklahoma, so 5. They have won all but one of their Big 12 matchups so far. They've lost the opening game of the series against West Virginia 5-2. They look for another Big 12 win. As the throw to second will be not in time. As Jamarusi takes off to second base. Stolen base number 12 on the year for him. Trey Lipsy in a battle with Drew Erdman. 1-1 is the count on him. No outs. Runner advances into scoring position. Be a Big 12 win number 6 for Ohio State should they prevail through the next 2 innings. That bunt goes foul. It'll be strike 2 from Trey Lipsy. Drew Erdman back-to-back innings where he has had a runner on. Last inning was able to strand 2. Looks to strand another. 1-2, no outs. That pitch right down the middle for strike 3. Brings up first out of the inning. Trey Lipsy heads back to the dugout. Now Henry Kazmar steps up to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day so far. Single and an RBI. Struck out looking, grounded out in the 5th. Had a walk in the 1st. It's now 1 out, 1 runner on. Pitch on the way right down the middle for strike 1. Jamaruski stands at second base, and Kazmar stands in the batter's box. Urban looks the second now back home. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 is the count on Kazmar. Shortstop trying to bring in another run. Buckeyes lead a 10-6 over the Bearcats. Urban looks the second now back home. Pitch on the way. Swinging no swing at all as that back pick to third is not in time. Cross had to make a leaping grab. That's back-to-back stolen bases for Jamarusti. Stolen base number 15 on the year. So he now stands 90 feet from the plate. Opponents stole home against the Bearcats recently. It was a Houston game. His first game of the Houston series. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike 3 called on Henry Kazmar. Sends him back to the dugout. He strikes out again, and now Rawson steps up to the plate. RBI single, sacrifice fly, and a 3-run home run in the first, second, and third, and struck on the 5th. As he comes on with 2 outs, 1 runner on. He's 90 feet away. Pitch outside for ball 1. Jamarusti stands at third base. Now a 1-0 count to Rawson. Jamarusti advances, trying to get Erdman to bite on a potential third base pick, but no dice there as that pitch is outside for ball 2. 2-0 pitch, swung on and hit foul over 2. Cincinnati bullpen. Now 2-1 the count with 2 outs. Erdman 5 strikeouts on the day. It's 11 batters faced. Wines deals, swung on, tipped foul once again, evens the count at 2. Erdman coming back in the count. Trying to retire the Buckeye side and get back to the Bearcat half of the inning. The 2-2. Outside, count runs full. 3-2, 2 outs, 1 runner on. It's Jamarusti at third. Rawson 2 for 3 on the day with a home run. 5 RBIs on the day. Pitch on the way, called strike 3. That retires the Ohio State side. And up comes the Bearcats for the top half of the 8th inning. Buckeyes still lead 10-6 when we come back and listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio.
Let's take a look at the Big Ten Conference scoreboard tonight. Final score, Maryland 13, Towson 8. Final score in 11 innings, the team up north 6, Kent State 4. In the top of the 6th, Creighton 6, Nebraska 3. Top of the 4th inning, Illinois leads Indiana State 14-5. Final score from Iowa City, Iowa 8, Illinois State 7. During the bottom of the 6th, Notre Dame leads Michigan State 1-0. And we're in the top of the 6th in Chicago, Illinois Chicago 2, Northwestern 0.
Carrington Cross leads off the away half of the 8th inning as the Buckeyes lead 10-6 over the Cincinnati Bearcats. Carrington Cross walked in the 1st and 4th and had singles in the 2nd and 6th. He's reached in all 4 of his at-bats. Official stats label him as 2 for 2. Jacob Morin remains on the mound for Ohio State. 2/3 of an inning of work. Retired both batters he faced of 8 pitches. So the right-hander looks to continue his success. As Carrington Cross makes his way to the batter's box to begin the top half of the 8th inning. Cincinnati running out of time. Only a total of an inning left to work with the top half of the 8th and 9th. Pitch on the way, inside, ball 1. Almost hits him. Cincinnati, no stranger to comebacks. Made plenty this year. Made a comeback against Ohio State as well. That was 2 years ago. That one inside the zone, 4 strike 1. have that walk-off home run in 2022 against Ohio State in the home opener of the 2021-22 season. Pitch on the way, down and away for ball 2. Runs the count to 2-1. Tommy O'Connor on deck for Cincinnati. He's 1 for 4 on the day with a home run. One of 2 extra base hits for Cincinnati. The pitch. Inside, ball 3. Carrington Cross, 39 walks on the season. He's done a fantastic job at surveying and finding those walks. So he sits 3-2, or with a 3-1 count, no outs, and has 2 walks on the day so far. Morin, the pitch. In the zone, strike 2. It's right down Broadway. Runs the count full for Carrington Cross. Cross taps both sides of home plate. Awaits the pitch from Morin. It's on the way. Swung on and driven. A high drive to center field. Back at the batter's eye. Making the catch is Stevenson just beyond the warning track. And that will be out number 1. Carrington Cross flying out to center. Brings up Tommy O'Connor. Struck out looking twice in the first and fourth. Had a 2-run home run in the second. Flew out in the 6th. Josh Cross, Jesse, and Sefcik due up for Cincinnati. Pitch on the way. Tommy O'Connor, he launches that one high up in the air. Down to right field, Oakley has a call for it, and he makes the catch. A couple steps from the warning track for out number 2. Tommy O'Connor makes his way back to the dugout and brings up Josh Cross. Due up for Ohio State, Tyler Petteroni, Matthew Gravelin, and Mitchell Oakley. 2 outs now, nobody on for Cincinnati as Josh Cross steps up to the plate. He was 0 for 2 on the day, was hit by pitch twice, grounded out in the second, and flew out in the 6th. 2 outs, nobody on for Josh Cross. Pitch on the way, in the zone, strike 1. So it's officially set. Temperature dropped here in Columbus. Team will make the drive back down 71. Pitch on the way. Goes past towards the backstop. It'll be ball 1. As the umpires are converging to have a discussion about something. It almost seems like it's about Ohio State pitcher, but I could be wrong. It seemed to have happened after the pitch almost hit Josh Cross. Sailed wild to the backstop. Home plate umpire Bryce McCullough now going over to talk to Coach Jordan Bischel. Now Jordan Bischel and McCullough having sort of heated conversation. Bischel looks displeased. Now a 1-1 count as Josh Cross steps back into the box. No idea of the discussion. Nothing happened. The 1-1. In the zone, strike 2. Hunter Jesse due up should the inning continue for Cincinnati. 2 outs, nobody on for Josh Cross, trying to keep the inning alive. The 1-2. Swing and a miss for Josh Cross, and he will be out. And that does it for the top half of the 8th inning. Ohio State heads to the bottom half of the 8th to try and tack on some insurance runs up by 4. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio.
Buckeyes continue their 2024 home campaign. Also, baseball fans, be sure to like the Buckeyes on Facebook. Ohio State University Baseball, follow them on Twitter and Instagram. And Ohio State Base for exclusive baseball content all year long. Hashtag Go Bucks.
Bearcats make a call to the bullpen, and it's number 35, Will Murphy, a redshirt freshman out of Morrow, Ohio, attended Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy. He's a right-handed pitcher. Redshirt freshman, played his first season at DePaul, where he appeared in 3 games, making 3 starts, posting a 6.87 ERA over 10 1/3 innings pitched. Made first team all-conference twice at CHCA, posting a .75 ERA with 5 wins as a senior, helping guide a team to a conference title his senior year. Comes into this contest with an 8.22 ERA, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 earned runs. So far this season, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks. He's allowed 1 home run and 2 doubles. As Tyler Petterini steps up to the plate for Ohio State. First pitch swung on and hit foul. Singled twice in second and third and grounded out in the first and sixth. He now stands with a 0-1 count. Swung on and hit into right field, Sefcik tracks it down. Base hit for Ohio State. It's their 12th of the day. Petterini reaches once again, and Matthew Graveline steps up to the plate, hit by a pitch, and victim of a double play twice in the second and third, and flew out in the sixth. A pitch away for ball 1. Two pitches in, and Murphy has a runner on. Pitch on the way. High, ball 2. 89 miles an hour. A real pop off the glove. As we have a 2-0 count now for Graveline. Pitch on the way in the zone. 4, strike 1, makes the count 2-1 for Graveline. Two-1, 1 runner on, no outs. Pitch on the way, swung on, tipped foul, evens it to 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Petterini has 8 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 4 times. Doesn't look to be itching to steal as the pitch is on the way, swung on and hit foul into the Bearcat bullpen. Count stands at 2-2. Two, no outs, 1 runner on. It's Petterini at first base for Ohio State. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Ohio State leads 10-6. Pickoff attempt not in time to first. Bearcats have another half inning to make a comeback as they trail by 4. Last run scored by any team was scored in the top half of the 4th. Cincinnati scored a run in that to cut the lead back down to 4 as that pitch goes outside, running the count to full. Three-two pickoff attempt to first, not in time. Still 3-2, no outs. Gravelin has had 2 double plays today. Chance for one more. Pickoff attempt not in time once again. Trying to catch Petterini. On deck for Ohio State is Oakley, who's 0 for 2 on the day so far. Pitch on the way, outside, and that'll be a walk and advance to the runners with no outs. Runners now on second and first. Brings up Oakley, who is 0 for 2, reached on an error and hit by pitch and also walked. Struck out in the first inning. As he steps up to the plate with no outs, 2 on. Had a chance to seal the deal for Ohio State. Pitch on the way. Outside, ball 1. Will Murphy looking to retire his first batter of the night. That pitch on the way, high, ball 2. Action still warming in the bullpen. Chance to see at least one more Bearcat pitcher in tonight's contest. That pitch outside, ball 3. Murphy is the 6th Bearcat pitcher we have seen tonight, and a chance for a 7th. As we are 3 balls and no strikes away from bases loaded. That strike, as that pitch called strike, right down the middle of the zone. So now 3-1 the count. No outs. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Nice pitch there. Got Oakley to bite. Sets up a full count for Oakley and the Buckeyes. Still no outs. Runners on first and second. Pitch on the way. Swung on. Tip foul. Way out of here. Back behind the stadium. A deep duel so far. Deep at bat. 7-pitch at bat. Count 3-2. Runners on first and second. No outs. Buckeyes lead 10-6. Pitch on the way. Swung on and hit to the third baseman. Bobbles the throw. Decides to go to first. That will be in time, but not before advancing the runners. Had a chance for a double play. Just could not get a grip on the ball. Was Carrington Cross. As that advances Petterini to third and Gravelin to second. The Oakley out. Now Mershon steps up to the plate, who was hit by pitch and brought in to run the first, RBI triple in the third and doubled in the 6th. He's 2 for 3. Pitch on the way outside, ball 1. Switch hitter who we've seen both sides of Mershon today. Currently batting left. That pitch in the zone for strike 1. Batting right, excuse me. There are only 2 right-handed batters in the entire Ohio State lineup. 1 switch hitter. Pitch on the way, it's high. Ball 3. Ball 2, excuse me. Could be expecting the scoreboard to update. 2-1, 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position for Ohio State. Swung on and driven high up in the air. Going over to center is Hageman. He's going to make the grab. The runner will tag, and he will, and Cameron Goodry receives the relay throw, but it's not in time. Pederini will cross home plate and advance the lead back to 5. First run scored in 4 innings for either team. Ohio State leads 11-6 over Cincinnati. So now Mason Eckelman steps up to the plate after a sac fly hit by Sean. Gravelin stands on third. That pitch swung on, tip foul way back out of the ballpark. 0-1 count, 2 outs, 1 runner on. He's at third. It's Gravelin. As Eckelman, 1 for 4 on the day with an RBI single. Steps up to the plate. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 called. It's Murphy. Looks to get out of the inning without scoring another run. Run will be earned for Murphy. Pitch on the way. High, ball 1. It's at a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Murphy winds and deals. Outside, ball 2. Evens it at 2 with 2 outs. 2's across the board for Mason Eckelman. It's a chance for another insurance run at the minimum. Pitch on the way. Swung on, tip foul. Back to the backstop. Still a 2-2 count. Ohio State leading 11-6 over Cincinnati. 2 outs. 1 runner on. Eckelman looking for his second hit of the day. Can reach base a second time as that one hit into center field. Will score a run, brings in Gravelin. That'll be a standing single for Eckelman. 12-6 now the score. 6-run difference between the two teams. That brings up Stevenson to hit in the 9 spot. He's going to pinch hit for Jamarusti. Josh Stevenson, another Buckeye that, when talking to TV personality here at Ohio State, had high praise. Specialty pinch hitter for the Buckeyes. That pitch outside ball for ball 1. Still 2 outs, 1 runner on. Now Eckelman standing at first base. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit right to Alauddin Brooks, but he can't make the grab. That'll be a standing single as that ball gets away from Guidry, but it's able to corral it without any further advancing of the bases. As now Eckelman stands at second. Stevenson stands at first, and Jordan Bischel comes out to make a pitching change. Looks like Will Murphy's day is done for Cincinnati. Points to the bullpen, and we'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. Buckeyes lead at 12-6 here on Bearcats Sports Radio.
Pitching for the Bearcats, number 16, Michael Conti.
Bearcats make a final call to the bullpen, and Michael Conti, right-handed pitcher out of Cincinnati, attended Walnut Hills High School as a transfer from Central Michigan, where he made 18 appearances, 16 of which were in relief, going 3-1 with 23 strikeouts and 12 walks last season at Central Michigan. This season, 1-0, 13 2/3 innings pitched, 22 hits allowed, 10 earned runs, and a 6.59 ERA. As he comes in to face the top of the Buckeye order in Trey Lipsy. 2 runners on, and Stevenson at first, and Eckelman at second base for Ohio State. So Herzog here with you, bottom of the 8th inning. The Buckeyes have scored 2 insurance runs to go up by 6 runs in total, 12 to Cincinnati 6. Happy to provide coverage here on this Tuesday evening. One of 3 midweek games remaining for Cincinnati. They'll head to Bloomington, Indiana to face off against the Indiana Hoosiers on May 7th. That game at 6 p.m. will be right here on Bearcat Sports Radio once again. Your free alternative, barring any Big Ten Network Plus that Indiana may use, as that pitch right down the middle for strike 1. First pitch from Michael Conti. It's a strike. 0-1, 2 outs, 2 runners on, Eckelman in scoring position. Second pitch, is up for ball 1. One of 4 road games remaining for Cincinnati. Other than Indiana, they'll head to BYU. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss for Trey Lipsy. Play 3 games in Provo. First 2 at 8 p.m. The last one at 1:30 p.m. Those are in Eastern time. Pitch on the way, outside for ball 2. Central time, those games at 7 and 12:30, respectively, against BYU. And they'll come home, play UConn at 11 a.m. and on Education Day on May 14th. A 3-game series against Oklahoma. That pitch high for ball 3, runs the count to full with 2 outs. 2 5 o'clocks and a 1 o'clock for Oklahoma on May 16th, 17th, and 18th before the Big 12 tournament in Arlington, Texas. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike 3 called for Trey Lipsy. Retires aside, and final chance for Cincinnati coming up right after the break. You're listening to Cincinnati Bearcats baseball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Buckeyes bring out a closer in Justin Eckhart. Transfer from the University of Texas, a graduate right-handed pitcher. His name's OSU Scholar Athlete in 2023. Made 21 appearances in the 2023 season, including 6 starts on the mound. Finished the season with a 4-3 record, striking out 36 batters in 46 2/3 innings of work. Transferred to Ohio State from Texas, where he had played from 2019 to 2022, making 11 appearances on the mound for the Longhorns in 22 and starting in 5 games, striking out 23 batters in 25 1/3 innings pitched. He's a Sealy, Texas native. Made the move to the Buckeye State, transferring to the Ohio State Buckeyes this season. 0-2, 15 in the third innings pitched, 2.93 ERA, 5 earned runs, 12 strikeouts. As he faces off against the 4, 5, and 6 batters for Cincinnati, Hunter Jesse, Luke Sefcik, and Josh Hegeman. Hunter Jesse, 2 strikeouts, a flyout, and an RBI single in the fourth. As the Bearcats look to rally here top of the 9th inning here in Columbus. Bearcats have had 5 hits off of 29 at-bats total, 2 of which were extra base hits, both of which were home runs. First pitch, strike for Hunter Jesse. Justin Eckhart throwing it just inside the zone for strike 1. Eckhart, the 0-1. Swung on and driven foul down the third base side. 0-2 the count for Hunter Jesse. Trying to keep his at-bat alive. Extend this one for Cincinnati. The pitch. Outside for ball 1. Good take there by Hunter Jesse. Eckhart the pitch. Outside ball 2. Wants the count even at 2. Luke Sefcik on deck for the Bearcats. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Reached by means of walks. Winds and deals. And hits him hard. Hunter Jesse hits the floor. Obvious pain, was able to advance to first base, taking his base after getting plunked. It's now leadoff man on, not ideally, but on nonetheless. Brings up Luke Sefcik. 3 walks and a strikeout on the day. For him, he was brought home in that second inning. So he has 1 runner on, and Hunter Jesse seems to be okay now. That pitch in the dirt for ball 1. That's the thing, hit batters will shake you up pretty good. That first pitch in the dirt, second pitch inside for Luke Sefcik. Wants to count 2-0. Hunter Jesse, 3 stolen bases on the year. Has not been caught. Pitch on the way in the zone, strike 1. Cincinnati 3 for 16 with runners on. Pitch on the way. Swung on and hit up in the air, but out of play. Bearcats looking to keep this one alive. 2-2 count, 1 runner on, no outs for Luke Sefcik. Bearcats trail by 6, 12-6 to Ohio State. 2 runs bottom of the 8th. Increase that lead as that one hit foul down the third base side. Luke Sefcik looking to keep this one alive for Cincinnati. Pitch on the way inside, runs the count full. Luke Sefcik had to contort in an uncomfortable way to avoid getting hit by that pitch. Rig 2, swung on and hit foul. Down the third base side, just foul. Almost staying there, but an awkward bounce. Payoff. in the zone. Strike 3 called. Retires Luke Sefcik. He'll head back to the dugout. Brings up Josh Hegeman over 3. Reached on an error in the 2nd and walked in the 7th. 1 batter down, 2 to go for Ohio State. First pitch of the at-bat, called strike. Hunter Jesse still on first base for Cincinnati. Hegeman steps up for his 5th at-bat of the ball game. Pitch on the way. Called strike. 0-2. Eckhart looking to just close this one out. The 0-2. Swung on and tipped up in the air. Hunter Jesse has to try and avoid. He runs into the runner, tagging himself, and the throw to first is in time. And that does it here in Columbus. Ohio State taking down Cincinnati 12 runs to 6 here at Bill Davis Stadium. Buckeyes winning on 12 runs off 14 hits and 2 errors. The Bearcats scoring 6 runs off 5 hits and 1 error on the night. And that does it for me here in Columbus, Ohio. One final time, the Buckeyes win it 12-6 against Cincinnati Bearcats. Bearcats are back home on Friday at 5 p.m. against West Virginia. That game being broadcasted live on the Big 12 now on ESPN+. And Bearcat Sports Radio will be right back at it on the road to Bloomington as the Bearcats take on IU next week, May 7th at 6 p.m. Pregame show starting at 5:45. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's broadcast. I'm Ethan Herzog saying so long from Columbus, and we will see you next time.